Coming through here from Fed's George, scheduled actually for earlier, so a little bit late. May have different ideas about what the Fed should do, but the Fed has committed to 2% inflation. So they're still talking about the overall target rate as we await for some numbers to come through here. We'll bring those to you if and when they do. Meanwhile, welcome back in. It's going to be, as the guys were saying, a pretty interesting afternoon here after we have strong start to the day. We test higher and then come all the way back down through the entire range following that PPI number this morning that, if you missed it, came in lower than expected, which is a positive overall for the market. Beige book just out there, guys. So we'll see if we get a move in the overall market here. Not much of a reaction to this. Again, just a leading indicator as far as manufacturing. In most districts, selling prices increased at a modest or moderate rate. Through many, though many reported that the rate of decline was higher than expected. So I'll keep reading through some of these comments from the beige book, but that's a look at the overall market. If you want to go to the SPY, still down 1.1 there on the afternoon. That's the overall look for the afternoon. To start things off, the Dow 1.27, 0.86 for the NASDAQ, a little bit stronger than the rest. It's been that way for the past couple of days, as we mentioned, especially yesterday. It was tech that was leading us most of the day to the upside. Bitcoin, Ethereum, 1.8, 2.4 after that DOJ announcement in the middle of the afternoon ends up being an absolute nothing burger. So we get some wild action in crypto. I'll go through some of these comments on the beige book as we continue along. Let me grab the sector watch for you, and we will take a look at what the overall market is doing as far as individual groups are concerned. Still some green on this board overall. It's been tech, as I mentioned, that was leading all afternoon. Just shifted. Here it is. Mostly the hardware group and the semiconductor group still in positive territory. Intel 2.8 to the downside. STX 2.2 to the upside. Some notable names. 4.2 for Moderna off those comments. Both from Davos this morning from the CEO talking about China negotiations, and then the positive data we got aftermarket yesterday on their RSV vaccine coming through. Banks lead right now, downside consumer staples right behind utilities as well. You can see the entire group all red. Still, I'll keep my eye on the market here, but not much of a reaction. We are ticking lower, 1.12 for the overall market. Hope your afternoon is going well. Let's jump into what we were discussing. Pre-market, if you joined us early on this morning, we got you set and ready for the open as we do every single day. Sean is going to lead the way this afternoon with a look at one of his trades from this morning.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your trade of the day, and it's brought to you by Day Trade the World. Make sure you scan that QR code below and start your prop firm today. Look, all right, this is going to be very, very simple. Don't want to take up too much time here. We're going to get back to the market. Here's the NASDAQ today, down 1%. What I wanted to sort of highlight, the trade of the day is going to be Microsoft, by the way. But as I wanted to highlight was just look at this. Pretty much a negative trajectory since the market opened. You can see by the volume at the bottom here, this is when we did open up, kind of barcode a little bit, made that top, you know, and then broke it back down, broke through 4,000. This, of course, is the NASDAQ, but it didn't hold this 11,800 up to the top. And now, of course, you're back down about 300 points, down to 11,500 right now. So the NASDAQ, little ill today, needless to say. All right, so Microsoft. Look, the reason why we look at Microsoft today is pretty key right here. You see this number? Deuce 40 right there, 240. So that was definitely a level that we wanted to look at, right? And why? I don't even have any more charts up here. You guys can go look it at yourself. I always like to think that we're going to bounce off of key levels and or trade around them, and let's just see what happens when that level does come through. So let's take a look about what we did early here. Here's the open. We actually get involved in Microsoft way early because it takes down 241. So as the market comes in right now, we actually start defending this 241. It's where the 200 period is, and it's only $1 away from our out, so we're pretty fine with that. You can see the move to the upside there. That's 242. So it comes back in and drops $1. So for me, let's start to test this long. And then, wow, there it comes all the way to the downside. We were able to get a little piece out there for 50 cents, but then it drops down again, and we don't get out at 241. The reason why our key level, again, was 240. That's what we were looking at. Very, very small starter position. We averaged it in. Now, this is the key, okay? You're going to see all of these takes. These are small amount of shares. When this fell back down and we actually took our long rate here at 240, Our actual price, our average price at that time for our full load was 240.13. So we got a lot of shares much closer to 240. Then as it lifted back up, so here it comes testing 240 the first time. Remember, this is the first time today that it tested. We were able to get multiple longs, and then boom, it just blasts straight up to the upside. This is only 1 minute candles. So we have 1 minute there. It goes to the upside. We're getting some out. Then it comes back, and we get long again. And these outs, where that line is 241. So we're actually taking $1, and then even if you break higher, right in your view up in the 50 period, that's like 241.25, 241.30. So we're getting some out. You can replay this. Go back to our live stream. This is all about 940, 945. Comes back in, get a little bit more out, get another piece out of the 200. All right, so this is the thing. One more time, rips all the way to the top. Do we get out? No. Why? Because we're still thinking that there's a chance. Remember, the NASDAQ is still hanging out up here. Okay, so the NASDAQ is still up here when we're thinking that Microsoft still has a chance to go back to today's high. So we're going to wait to see if that happens. Again, this is on PPI. We're not expecting it to go all the way up. But then it falls back down. There's another take, same level, 240.10, something like that. Get it back out. Look at these outs here. These are 30s and 40s again. So we're making 20 to 30, 35 cents on these trades. Comes back in. Hey, we're reloaded one more time. That's what we're doing here. Take the reload there, but this time, n'est pas for my French friends out there. This time, it breaks lower. And look where we get out almost immediately once that 240 breaks. I think it was 240.90. We talked about the price, or 239.90. We talked about the price we got live on the show, but then look at the cascade to the downside. So as we sit here and talk about risk to reward, it's pretty simple what I did here. Going long as many times as we could at 240. Reaped the bet. This is still my number one stock today. My number one stock. Don't even have a short on this one. Boom, boom, boom. Then get out for 20 cents when it's wrong. Even if it's your full default. You've made enough money back here that when it comes back, I have less shares to go long also. This is the first retest, second retest, third retest. 3 times the charm to the downside. Neil and I should just speak for myself, but I need to get better at reversing into the short once a key level is broken. The minute it broke 240, we should have had the short, and then it would really be cash. It's actually getting close right now, this 200 period. I'm just noticing this right now. Got to run back to the desk. If we take that back, maybe we go back up to the upside. We're always going to watch the futures as a leading indicator, still below the 50 period here on the NASDAQ. It's Microsoft. Trade of your day because it was simple. Go long in front of support. Support breaks, you're out. Pretty easy. I was going to say easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Over to Brendan.
Weakness in the overall tech sector led by Microsoft today as we come through with more job cuts, if you missed it as well, kicking off as of today for Microsoft, Amazon as well, 18,000 jobs coming off the table. We were talking about that and more this morning off of the watch list, guys. Make sure you are grabbing that every single day for free. Why not? We do all your homework, put it in one spot, and then we email it to you. What else can we do? It's free. That's the link if you need it. Here's a look right now at Bitcoin and Ethereum. I was mentioning when we came on there, wild ride heading into that 12 o'clock DOJ announcement for both Bitcoin and Ethereum. We came off $1,000 for Bitcoin. I was actually about 1,200, so 21.6 at the top. We come back to 20,400, and then it goes right back up to 21,000. When what was it called? BitLotto or something along those lines was the website that was seized, and there was a money laundering charge laid on the Russian operator of that website. So it ended up being an absolute nothing burger for the overall market as far as crypto is concerned. This is the market right now, 105 to the downside, 1.05%. Beige book out, wasn't really much or anything for that matter that we hadn't heard already as far as economic activity. Again, that's in the Cleveland area. It's just used as a baseline for economic activity overall. We were talking a little bit about airlines this morning. If you joined us early on, UAL was the big one out with earnings aftermarket yesterday. We end up fading this nice gap to the upside. It was up 6% at one point. This is 53. We're down to 49 here, guys. Even as they say they're going to quadruple revenue in 2023.
That's a lot of revenue. Sean, you can speak for me when it comes to reversing trades, because I'll tell you this, I have yet to find a long from this morning good or bad. Like whether it was a good long, we have a couple of those, whether it was a bad long, UAL will qualify. Where the out wasn't like an obvious reversal point, like every single decision-making point, initial entry, reload or average in, and then the stop out level in front of 50, like in front of 51. Those were the ultimate decision points. Like I'm engaging the position here, I'm adding to it here, and stopping out underneath. If you look at each one of those prices, initial entry ends up being the high on a dead cat bounce. The stop out price is where it rolls over for good. It's like if you have key levels, man, they're good in either direction. Now, obviously, that wasn't an example of a positive trade, but it just goes to show if you got a key level, sometimes it is just all about the trade action and making a decision off that level. Getting out of a long is one step. The other step is, well, if I was flat, like if I hadn't been looking long off those levels on UAL and I wasn't engaged in the trade and I was looking at the same thing the way the market was reacting, what would I do then? Well, I'd probably short off of those levels because they're important and all of a sudden the market looks weak. There's lots of shorts to be had. I wasn't looking for a short in this name. I will give you one other one just because this down 3.5%, but I will show you guys Boeing. Not because Boeing's having a great day or anything, but just because Boeing is a little bit stronger. If we're going to talk about the overall industry and the reaction to today, this got off the bottom and is actually holding higher while the market's off those lows. So double bottom on Boeing off 209. I think that's a level worth looking at if the market continues to flush. And if we do get any kind of a rebound, you know, Boeing, the story here would be in about 50 cents or 30 cents or so, it goes red to green. That's some relative strength in Boeing. I don't think I'll be picking any bottoms in UAL.
Yeah, UAL, I didn't trade it. The only important thing to look at here, first of all, we're hitting this Rivian pretty good right now. We'll talk about that when we get to Tesla. The only thing that I would talk about with UAL, we talked about that Jets ETF, blah, 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 blah. If you want to buy some of that, I'm in it from a while ago, but I'm still not selling. This is just kind of one thing to look at. But I just want to look at this top again. I mean, let's just keep this stuff in mind. No matter how good the report is, and I guess it wasn't that good because we're actually red today despite where we started and we went to the high spot. It ran perfectly up into past resistance. So for me, UAL here at 54 is a banger to the short side. I feel like we'll wait to see. Goldman Sachs was something similar yesterday, as was JP Morgan at 140. It stopped at 140. We talked about that. So I think that even if you are looking to, fade earnings plays, you still got to have some support or resistance. And up here today, we did have that on United Air because it's just one of those things where we could have been short against like even this high is 54.60, right? Like where did we get to today? Like we got to 50, I mean, if you take the pre-market, forget about yesterday, that was yesterday. But even if you take today's pre-market high and say that's 53.50, it's only $1 more until you break out through that top. And the reward is $4 to the downside right now. Obviously you don't hold it for the full risk to reward, but still interesting to note. Let's remind ourselves of that the next time we have an earnings play that runs right into a key level. I think we'll play the short against that past resistance. So good report for UAL, at least we thought, but not so good right now as we're looking to take out these bottoms, to be honest with you. That's probably a decent short against that 200 period right there. That's $49. We'll wait to see if it takes that out.
It was a fade the news kind of a day when you look at UAL, when you look at this one as well. Tesla back downside today after a nice couple of days to the high side. 2.75% right now. It was a little bit more than that a couple minutes ago. This was the second note that was out this morning from Electrek, and this is referring to U.S. sales specifically. Unprecedented demand and record sales since the most recent 20% price cut across the board. And this was the original note that came out very early on this morning, talking about demand and sales in China also surging after the price cut was announced just prior to the North American one in China. But downside, sell the news kind of a day here.
Yeah, this is stock number 2 were the longs. I like the long off 135. I think I took it 3 times. It was successful for $1 several times, but when it finally stopped out, it was just another, oh, you guys can't see. There we go. It was another one of those names where it was just a clean reversal if you just took the short off of that 135 level. So at the open, I have a 3-minute up here, so that's about the first 10 minutes at the open where you're bouncing and getting a couple of dollar scalps out of it, and then it takes out the bottom. I did say the last 2 days, NEO gets to 11, I'm going long NEO in front of $11. So you can probably guess when the market is weak, which it spoiler alert, the market's weak today. I know we're still on the bull here. I actually didn't remember that
we forgot about that.
Yeah, we forgot. Probably should have changed it to the bear, to be honest with you. Because we were all short, like, relatively quickly in the morning show after that open. But NEO did get down to 11. There was a bit of a tricky move in there where it ran stops. So you can kind of see right in here, like, it long in front, it runs the stops, I stop out, but then once it's a wick bottom, I'm just getting right back in again. So if I see a wick bottom like that, I grab some shares at 5, it came back for a couple seconds to get me some 2s, played it all the way up into like 11.18 was the best out. I'm still in it, it's holding a higher low. Might have to shift somewhere else because I love that level and I love the bounce that it gave me. However, like all the Chinese ADRs, it might not do anything for the rest of the day. You can kind of see what's happening. Like, it made another bounce off 11. I missed that by like 2 cents, and now we're kind of going sideways in the same range. So either we break the top and I can get out going into VWAP, I start getting this long again out in front of 11 bucks, or find something which might be moving a little bit more, which obviously Tesla is going to fall into that category. But that was being patient. Like, I knew exactly where I was waiting on that bid. I wasn't going to take a single share in the stock till it got to 11.02. That was just a key level. And it's not just that it's a round number. You can sort of look at this. Like, the last few days, they've been finding bottoms in front of it. If you go to the daily chart as well, like, you're right on the 50-period moving average. I got to zoom in to be able to see. You're right on the 50-period moving average. So there's a lot of reasons why that 11 was holding up. But sometimes you just have to be super patient. In an accelerating down market, if you want the long at a specific price, a lot of times it just pays to wait for it.
Yes, sir. You're getting close to time to pay yourself right now. I mean, Tesla's right at the bottom again here of 127. So if you're thinking about taking a dip buy, now might be the time to get that dip buy, as Tesla is right at this bottom of 127. So you could take an opportunity there. I took an opportunity to absolutely, trade quite well Rivian. Rivian went right down into 1650 there, right back into the bottom, and we just you can see that we loaded it up. We have 3 times the trades here. We did get a lot out not a lot out, but I don't know, probably 40% out or so, around 58, 59, 60. These are 50 loads, right? You can see where we're long now, 50. So one was a 51, one was 50. So nice outs. We just got an 85 out right here on Rivian as well. So we rode this one back up to the upside. We now only have 10% left as we got out of about 30% right there. So, about 50 to 60% there, the rest out again, look where we went to. We went right to 80, this top, right? So we went right into there. I don't know, we got lucky to get an 83, I guess, looks like there. And now you're dipping back below. But I took advantage of Rivian here today instead of Tesla. So it just came down already and touched that same level, double touched it. And look at Rivian's daily chart. It's absolutely disgusting down here. So I don't know, we will play the long now, but I don't love the long, needless to say, but we're long Rivian for our EV play right here.
Just having a look at coin was popping back up there, but not really doing a heck of a lot. Let's talk about Moderna. It was another one that was higher to start things off. That's Coinbase right now, as I mentioned, not really doing anything. Here we go. Moderna for 3%, still higher. Holding on to these gains from yesterday. We had the big move up on 2 separate notes that happened, one after the close yesterday, which was this one. Positive data on their RSV vaccine that came out, 84% efficacy. And then in Davos early on this morning, the company CEO saying they still want to find a deal with China. They were negotiating on more deliveries of COVID vaccine. So it did give you that early flush down through 200, but the long maybe was the best idea there initially.
It was, but that was a huge flush at the open. So I'll excuse anybody if you had trouble getting into that long, because early on I couldn't find my way into it, not until it made like a consolidation, bounced up, and then I just played the consolidation long here. I love that setup. Like, you have so much exhaustion in selling all the way down through 200, a wick bottom that got to 98s. Then you just slam right back up, reestablish the pre-market low, and then make a higher low. That's where I started getting in. Pre-market low, that 203, puts in the higher low 204, take 04s, takes them out 05s, 06s. At this point, all I'm thinking is hold on for a top day break because I've given it some room, and then look where it could go. Like, I'll go to the daily chart here because this had all kinds of room. I thought if you broke the top, you could maybe get to this 13, 14. That would be an obvious shorting area. Just go back historically. It's been a good price in those teens, the 213, 215 area on Moderna. So I thought on a break, that's where it could go. Clearly, it didn't happen, but that's why we have a stop. And this is now stock number 3. So Sean's like, I don't want to speak for Neil about reversing. Stock number 3, where I've shown you a long position, where the out was almost a near ideal place to have reversed into a short trade, because that's 204 breaking. That lower high is 203.50. It ends up at $1.95. There were lots of great shorting opportunities. It's interesting. The rundown's just like, ooh, that was a long that was a good reverse. That was a long that was a good reverse. This was a long that was a good reverse as well. Everything was a good reverse this morning if you went from long to short.
All right, just looking here. It's a list now. Yeah, okay. Just looking. I didn't trade anything on Moderna today for sure. So not much to talk about here. But AMD, I am short AMD. We're going to talk about the chips in a minute. But I am short right there. We just double, triple, double topped, whatever, bottom, not topped, all these bottoms. One time there at 70.50, then again at 70.50, and then as we were doing the trade of the day, down there again at 70.50, just taking this out. We're still short $1 in the money, but I'm wondering if the short is now over with on AMD. Probably should have got it out. So let's take it out. We're now above this 200 period and breaking. I'm going to get out of AMD and just say we should have got out a hell of a lot lower. So my bad on that one. There it is. We were cashing out. It's a chicken dinner winner, man. We just took $1 on this AMD trade there. But let's get out of it and debate going long as the S&P trying to go. I just said that we might go long Microsoft as it was your trade of the day. Oh, shoot. Oh, man. Missed it, man. We were just talking about that. I said it on the screen that we wanted to go long there. That's 40 cents ago. Who got that trade? Hopefully you guys did. I gave you... So that might have been the first time in history on the trade of the day that I gave you another trade of the day there going long, breaking this 237. Anyways, nice little move to the upside there. That sucks. I wanted to get back into Microsoft right now. Maybe we'll have to go long on AMD as things have definitely turned the corner here a little bit. Yeah, darn it, that Microsoft. We can get back in if it fades out a little bit. What is that, 237.20? Let's put some bids on Softy back down into the 30s here. Missed that one. Maybe it is just the AMD long that we have to work about. Let's bid Microsoft 237.30 or so against 237 and see if we can pick up a decent long here. Oh, we missed that. We should have just made 60 cents. But yeah, mRNA, nothing to do with me. Haven't traded it today, but I do have some talk about Coinbase, Brendo.
Back to negative here for coin, as we saw there, 4.3%. It's kind of chopping around right now at this 52 level. There was a couple of things of note. This was a major one this morning. They finally, after a week or so, come out and confirm that they are going to halt Japanese operations entirely. Not a huge deal. I mean, the movement in cryptocurrencies was the bigger story this morning, initially higher, and then we get that sharp reversal back to the downside. So 4.2% right now for coin, guys.
Yeah, it was a big reversal on coin. I elected to trade Silvergate because Silvergate has been a relatively weak stock, is a nice way to put it, recently. So I like this one in front of that 14 quarter. I think I almost was talking about this. I know I was talking about this yesterday, but the afternoon support resistance level, if you can even call it that, because when a stock goes from 17 to 14, you know, how significant can the resistance be down at like 14 and a quarter? But that's where it was. All afternoon, you trended down. It made a huge pop after a monster capitulation and then found its resistance down in that range. So you can see that peak there, 14.30, the lower high there at 14 even, and then it ended the day essentially with a 13.75 as that top. So where am I shorting when the market starts to go back up? I'm shorting at level 1. I'm shorting at level 2. It never really challenged level 3, and then it rolled completely over. So I was short about 13.90. Goes all the way down to $13. I accidentally get out of all of it, but that's okay because it breaks 13, and I short 99s anyways. Got all the way down to 12. I trailed it to 12.20. This stock is a dumpster fire right now, quite frankly. I had a long yesterday because it was a squeeze play, but should have been the short double top 17 was a better trade. It is just seemingly on a one-way collision course with a hat size, which means it's going to be, my hat size is 7 and 3/8 is my hat size. So this is going to be single digits at some point. It just feels like that's almost inevitable. And since it's monster capitulation, it tried to go. This is a huge rejection of trying to fill the gap in that we're seeing today. Coin was flying. This ended up flushing. I'm going to short pops at a 13 on the afternoon show if we can even get them. But I'm just going to continue. So until this breaks your back, you almost just have to think about where is the shorting opportunity in a stock like this until it has another capitulation type bottom or just gets to $10.
All right, we'll talk a little bit about Coinbase here because, you know, we had Coinbase on our mind today. We saw a big run up, obviously, in crypto as right now Bitcoin back down below 21,000, but did have that high of 21.5. We wrote down on here, time to look short, man. Way too far here, 55. Let's look at the short. It's on the sticky note. Thanks to everybody for paying attention to the sticky note today. 9,000 views on the sticky note today, so that means a lot. Thank you so much. And by the way, we just took Microsoft. Now that's 20 cents in the money, starting to go back up. What is that level, 70? I mean, do we want to just take 20 cents real quick right now on Microsoft? Why don't we do that? We'll put an offer at 69. We'll take 20 cents. We're long at 50 right now. 51. You can see it on the board. We just took this trade. Let's take 20 cents on a piece, and then if it continues to go, man, we'll let Microsoft ride to the high side right now. But okay, the only losing trade that we had on board today, you know, Coinbase, and that is what it is. We shorted it up to that 55 mark. Just didn't believe it. It got really blasted up, man. You see a lot of volume early, nothing really right now as it rips all the way to 57. So, yeah, we tried it and lost. So Coinbase definitely shorted at 54.50, shorted at 55, short again at 55.50, taken out at 56 for about $1 hit. So actually exactly $1 hit on that one. So not a great trade. Yeah, I should have waited for 57, but when I'm looking here, like especially at the daily, there's really nothing that would have, I mean, I guess there's that top right there, 58, that we could have looked at. But other than that, man, I mean, I don't know. I was using 56, 57 right into here as my out. That's 55 right there. That top is 56. Then you have 57, 58, 20. So, you know, it was a tough one to hold today. This is the climb up for Coinbase. We were really trying to go short rate against that 55. It just got carried away and we wound up getting out 56. So I feel like, yes, sir. I feel like it was well worth the risk on Coinbase today. It does suck. It does hurt whenever you take a loss, but hey, it was early. We made everything back. It's all good on that. And then there it is again. We hit that bang because there's 20 cents right there on Microsoft. And again, if we're going to go try to take this back into 237.30, where we actually want more shares, that's 20 cents. So hopefully it does drip down, and that's fine. But let's take some out as Microsoft right now bouncing against that high that was made at about 1 o'clock of 65.70. So we have the long. We're in it. That's so far so good for Microsoft. Let's see if it can go higher on this one. Next up, Memesville.
Not necessarily a meme stock, but just popping back up in front of me here. Neon Node, a little one that's been going crazy the past couple of days. Neon, N-E-O-N. Back to the downside now, but you can see a huge volume spike there at 1350. Go out to the daily chart, you'll see why. Still up significantly for N-E-O-N. Yeah, meme stocks back downside as well for the most part across the board. 4.5% right now for Best Buy. 6% downside for AMC today. Is this done already?
Yeah, maybe. Like it was a good rally the last couple of days. But like so I'll show you guys AMC because that was one I was trading. I'm in Virgin Galactic now, but does that count? I don't think Virgin Galactic counts anymore as a meme stock. Maybe it does. But AMC had that big breakout in yesterday's trade. It was a double top at 620, and like every other stock, it was just the ultimate reversal. Here's all the longs at 620. It couldn't make that breakout of the 50 level. But this one I did reverse short. But I didn't reverse short at 620. I actually reversed short at 6 even. I'm out of it now because it went all the way down to 550. But I cannot tell you. I can't remember the last time that just about every stock I thought was remotely a long in the morning had an absolute picture-perfect level where it's like an obvious stop out of the long, and then it was just a clean reversal to the short where you almost didn't have to look back. Like that's what the reversals look like here today. If this does pop back into 6 even, that would be the level I'd be looking for the short. I'm short right now in Virgin Galactic, which I suppose counts off the $5 break. Not one I was looking at this morning, to be honest with you. But when the market was continuing to flush, I knew the $5 was big. There was a lot of chatter about it in the chat, but yesterday's low, the previous day's higher low, once that broke, I grabbed the short here at 95. I'll add to it if I can get a chance at 5 even. And I got bids down there. I took the first 5 cents. 1-to-1 against my stop is going to be about 5. So we'll take 1-to-1. 2-to-1 will be if it gets down to the 80s, and then just see how far it can get into the downside. I'm still in DWAC, by the way, but there was news on DWAC today. Thanks to Brendan for pointing this one out, because I probably would have missed it without Brendan, to be honest with you guys. Donald Trump saying he's going to go back to Twitter, which last I checked, not necessarily a good thing for Digital World Acquisition and True Social. So it went all the way to 15.20 from 17. Like that's a real candle. I'll go to the 3 minutes so you can see it better. But that is a real move on that news, all that volume. Once it came right back to where it was before, I just shorted that consolidation. It then flushed into 16 even, got about 60 pennies on it, and I'm still sitting looking for the flat bottom break at 16. The more I look at this, I might actually, that's a good flat bottom break. If the market starts rolling over, which it's not right now, I might look to jump into a short if this breaks that flat bottom at 16 even, but I'm still sitting into a piece of it, so if it goes, we'll be okay. It's a slow mover. DWAG's volume hasn't even cracked 1 million shares, so you want it to actually make a move or show you it's doing something. Otherwise, you're just over trading.
Yeah, we tried to get long on AMD down there at 71, missed it. We are sitting here at 70. Oh, did we get, no, we got out right there. I was gonna say, is that my long? That's me getting out. Look at AMD starting to go upside. And then hopefully you guys have this as well right now as we're barbecuing up Softy, as there it goes. Now 50 cents in the money on Microsoft. Sorry, 40 cents in the money as that's starting to go up. I guess its high was up to 238, so that would have been a 50-cent win. We're still gonna hold on to it though, and hopefully let it continue to ride up the rest of the day. There it goes now again, so that's a good one. Carvana, you know, for meme stocks, we talked about some key levels here. I only have to point to the 20 period. It's $8. The highest you got up to was $8.45. So, you know, to me, this was the one to look at today. We had too many tops over the last week that should have been short there, was not. Very dangerous. I mean, whenever I'm, you know, when a lot of these moves happen, they're sort of at the beginning of the day, and it's like I'm just wrapped up in so many other things. And I feel like if you're going to trade, you know, crypto, or you're going to trade and like crypto names like a Coinbase or an SI or any of these meme stocks, you really, really need to be focused on them. And unfortunately, at the beginning of the day, I was not. So yeah, I missed that Carvana one, but we'll look to see if that's going to come back in one more time here for Carvana. A missed trade opportunity, and it's too bad. I mean, I'm going to find out where Intel is right now, but I like that 20. Okay, so it's still
29.
here. I was even going to say 29 flat level there. What just happened?
I just got in 93s.
All right, we just got, yeah, okay, you just got in. So I just got in the other way here on AMD. AMD just fell back into, now the futures are going to pull back a little bit here. Nice move up. Let me zoom in on this just to make sure that we're still right here. Nice move up for the futures, but ran right into basically its own tops again. But the reason why I like the long is we broke through this 11,530 here. So we broke through the top. So let's buy some bottoms and see if we retest this 50 period. I do think there's an opportunity to get going back up to the upside right now in these markets, but maybe we have the wrong name. AMD today is down as the market's down. Better to pick up something that's strong on the day rather than continuing to watch out. I'll move this over here so you can see. Continuing to watch out for the NASDAQ levels. So, you know, maybe we need to be on something that's strong instead of something that's at the market. But we're going to go long AMD. Let's pay attention to where we just went to. We went to 20 there. So let's put an offer somewhere around 20 and then deal with it at that point. But right now we're long AMD and looking to get longer on this name at 71 flat. I have a bid. So we're long at 04. We're going to go at flats. And then in order to be wrong on this name, I mean, what about just going back to the day's low here? But that's risky. We'll figure out where we're going to be wrong. Maybe it's this 80 break. I feel like that's a little bit of a better spot there, 80. So we'll average in. We're going to take about 20 cents worth of a hit to take 20 cents worth of profit and then hold for more upside. So I like this name right now. We're going to go long on AMD. First piece out around 20, then we'll hold the rest. But we just missed another reload. But so far, so good, man. There's Softy, 45 cents in the money. We just put that one on. That's a good trade. Rivian, 30 cents in the money as well, as that's battling back. We just put that one on, and the one that you all saw was AMD. So let's see where we go from here, but I'm long currently on those three names.
Yeah, I do have one other long. I want to talk about Gap here. Like retail sales was not a good number this morning, and a lot of the retail is actually getting hit a little bit hard today. But Gap is up 2.5%. So we always talk about relative strength and relative weakness. Relative strength here, it was breaking out that 13. I said I liked the break, but at the open, I had a lot of other things that I was looking at. When you're trading Moderna and Silvergate and all that stuff, like Gap was not at the top of my list in terms of a mover, but then it ends up holding that 13 on the pullback. So higher low was at 10s. I'm long in front of that. I'm playing up to this 20 level. I'm going to reload and keep doing so in front of that 13 even. Just want to play there. And as Sean was talking about AMD, I went back to the well on Intel, which I've been known to do from time to time. That's a bad wick. This is 29. Even, that was a level I had as a target on the short for Intel. Like I did roll into the Intel short, and one of the big reasons why. Let me try to do it this way, like I did in the morning show. This morning, this is what Nvidia was doing off the open. Like you made a wick bottom and you were breaking out of the highs. This is 178, and you're continuously taking out these tops, higher lows all the way through on the 3-minute chart. So higher low, higher low, higher low, just continuously putting in higher lows on Nvidia. Meanwhile, Intel was just unable to even get toward the pre-market tops. It was relatively weak. There was no way I was going to miss that short, so I simply shorted it at the break of first resistance and then held it all the way down to like 29 even. I had a quick long that I lost 4 cents on in front of 29. Now I'm shorting in front of 29 even. As simple as that. Like that was the key level. I didn't reverse from long to short there. I obviously should have in that situation, but now I'm going to be shorting that 30 this afternoon. That 29 this afternoon. 30 was yesterday's trade. And we're going to rinse and repeat. If it breaks 29, I know exactly where I'm wrong on Intel for that short trade. And if you're watching and looking for something that could bring the market to the upside, I know it's been struggling a little bit here, but Apple, there we go, it's starting to load. Come on, there we go. Apple just went. It's going to go back and forth now. That I just said it just went green. And now it's like teetering. So, okay, Apple had just regained going green, and now it's like 0.04 to the downside. That's going to make me look stupid because I'm about to say Apple's going green, and if it can continue past 136, this can drag the market up, and you got to watch out for some of your shorts, as I just put the Intel short on. And of course, now Apple kind of heading back into the downside. But that's only like a few cents that it moved here. If we start dragging up and holding 36 and putting in another higher low on Apple, this is the kind of thing that could get the market rallying off of these bottoms. We're not going anywhere without Apple.
Yeah, so I just got in by accident there on Apple. I actually wanted one good call on that one. He made me draw my attention to it, which is always nice. 136.41 or so, I want to go long. I don't want to go long right away on Apple, although I was just long and obviously wish I would have held that now because of where it's going. But yeah, just right there. There's 25. Yeah, maybe it's 25 is better than 40. I don't know why I said 40 right there. Yeah, maybe it's 27, 28. Okay, so anyways, nice call on that. I like that long. Let's see if it's going to work to the upside. There goes Apple right now, turning green. I like that call. We just went long. I should have held it, but again, it was an accident right there. So nice move to the upside here for Apple as it's starting to go. What has gone back in right now for some reason is Microsoft. So let's pick up another couple shares here. We'll just punch into 47. You just saw me take out some 47s right there. So there we go. We are back into Microsoft. I don't know why that just dipped. So Microsoft, I have an out. It's going to be right here. Honestly, I'm just going to respect this out of 237. So we have that level down here, 237.16. I'm going to wait. I'm going to try to be as patient as I can be with Microsoft here and wait for that level. So, hey, if it breaks, it breaks. Let's see if it does. But I'm going to wait for that Microsoft level right there. 230. We'll see what it is, but it's 237.50 or so. 237.20, I guess, is where we can start to get back into it. So let's do that now on Softy and then see where we go. That's the level that I'm looking for here, Microsoft, 237.20 for a reload. As
you see where that goes, I will CYAD. I don't know. Whatever, that's close enough. CYAD making a power move in here there. So it's like, it's always the same story for me. Everyone hates it because it's like, oh yeah, the stock's going, it's mooning, moonshot. And then you pull up the daily chart and you're like, oh, 3's a big level on the stock. It's got a double top essentially right here. Here's the problem with taking a breakout. That's still room, like 275 into 3. That's actually a decent sized move. But to take it that high, where's your out? Like traditionally speaking to me, that's like 25 cents. That's exactly 1-to-1 where resistance lines up on the daily. So a failed break up here that doesn't get the $3 and a short off 3 is actually the setup that I would prefer instead of chasing it. If you got the longs, great. You're probably like rolling in, whether you have it yesterday or the end of these consolidations or the early breaks, you're sort of rolling in your cash and you're looking for places to take it out for profitability. But I'm looking for the next trade because I'm not in the long. And as I pay for my locates, literally less than 1 cent a share. I'm looking for a failed break of that high, doesn't get through $3, and then short off at $3 is what I'm looking for. Just in and out, quick, not even a VWAP or trace, because if I got that trade, I'd be happy with 250 if I got it. And if it doesn't break 275, maybe I don't actually get that short. But a great runner here, huge volume spike just as we were talking, because that literally just happened. Like it was a 250 break. I think pure technical break, if anything. And there's no new news on this one. It looks like it's just a technical break. And it's getting a lot of chatter, obviously.
What just happened?
Unavailable.
What just happened there? Oh, nothing.
no.
Oh, no. All right, we got some out there on Rivian. Rivian just popped up a little bit higher, so we took another out right here at 82 again. It actually was 83, but it did pop to 87, 88. We're going to wait around this 94 level here for that. And okay, now here we go. We're getting close, man. There's Microsoft. Microsoft's down to 237 again. So, yep, that's where we are. So we're going to wait to see what happens now on this play. So we just went long at 35. It's back up to a flat position for us here for Microsoft again. And what are we playing off of? We just should have, again, I keep saying this, man. Patience is so damn key for me, and then I don't really follow it too much. If we just waited for it to come down here, now we'd be able to, cash out on 15, 20 cents, but we're unable to do that, so we needed to go back up to the upside. I will take a piece out here, basically for flat. No, actually, I'm not going to. Let's just let this go. I was a little bit worried about it, and I put one out right here at the 50 period, but, that's not enough. What's this wick? This wick is 50, so let's just put something out near that 50 marker, and if it does go back up to the upside, we're not fully in yet for all of our Microsoft. We are waiting down here, basically right where this is, man, at 14 or 15, right down there for Softy. So if we do get a little bit of a rip move up, we'll be pretty happy with it, but we're still waiting for that play to come through. AMD, we did get longer, but again, didn't really do anything. Went down to 95. We have some bids down here at 90, waiting to see if 80 breaks, but we're long on AMD as well. And then those are the positions we have on. So is there anything you guys want to talk about? I mean, I think Apple has more upside. He talked about that. Bed Bath & Beyond is right now at $4 right now. So nice move right here. Starting to get going back up to the upside right now after breaking that breaking the 200 period again at 397 and continuing to go higher. I look at this and I just, it's too hard for me to sit here and play momentum, to be honest with you. Because unless I'm sitting here looking at it, and right now it's not really doing too much, so I can't rubber stamp a buy on Bed Bath & Beyond. Has Carvana started to go yet? Nah, not really. So Carvana's bouncing off the bottom as well. Maybe
a firm.
Yeah, firm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What is this?
Those people are
720? Yeah, 721 or so on Carvana, maybe. Let's try that. If we break 721, that's the 50 period. It tried it here and didn't do anything and actually went back down. So we know that if it breaks it and we're wrong, we can get out with almost no damage. So I think this is really worth it right here. 722 to take this Carvana long, I'm down. So I'm going to put that bid in and we take above 722. So 723 ticks, we're into CVNA, okay? So that's my play for right here if we can get it. So Carvana to the upside.
So as I was doing my request for pay for shorts and got the price of less than 1 cent per share, clearly it got repriced at the broker because it rejected it when I went to confirm it. But you lay out a plan of action. By the time I actually got the locates, it's already done the exact move I was talking about. Break 275, don't get the 3, put in a wick high, fail that, short it on the way back in here. But it is what it is. If you don't get the locates, I could have paid for those locates 20 minutes ago, and so it's always on me because you wait for the move so that you pay for the locates and you know that the move is happening, that you want to grab instead of just paying for it when it's at $2 when there's nothing to be done with the shorts. But now it's made that wick top. So unless it comes back to 275, there's not a heck of a lot to engage in. I actually like that Bed Bath & Beyond sort of breaking that 4 level. And as it comes back in here, maybe even the slightest bounce off of 4, there's a decent amount of size there because there's room to VWAP. And really, if you're just long 4 into 395, that's from here 7 cents worth of risk. VWAP sits at 425. I mean, you can definitely get some 1-to-1. I just want that volume to start picking up there again. I'll probably sit in front of get a passive fill at a cent. Sorry, at $4.01, not literally 1 cent. You guys know what I mean. Maybe even take some 2s, give a stop at 95, tight stop. It's starting to go. I don't mind the notion of some follow through here, especially when you get a flat top break. I mean, I'm looking for a flat bottom breakdown on DWAC. The reverse of that kind of just happened here at $4 even on Bed Bath & Beyond.
All right, so let's just keep adding some cash to our stacks right now. There's that Microsoft long, and literally on the knot, we grabbed it. It's huge, and there it goes to the upside. I mean, it's not huge yet. It's only 15 cents, but we look where we're long. We're long at 14. We just took a bunch out here as it went back up into the 30s. So we just got layered out right there. 27s, 28s, 29s. I just offered them, and they all just went like that. So some nice fills here coming through for us on Microsoft. Still holding half though of the position, and I know half is not that much. I wish we would have. I don't wish because I could always change change my mind and do whatever I want. But we did get out of that. A little nervous here. The market just took the 50 period again. And when I look at this market, it is still at these highs. It really hasn't broken. So we need to get above this 11,550, like take out that, and then we'd see that, and then we'll get a lot of upside movement happening. And at the same note, there's a dime. You guys know we like those dimes. And there it is right there. We'll take the first out on AMD for a dime, and here it go now. We're starting to get a little bit excited. We're at 17 now on AMD, and wow, yes, stack that up right now on our friend Softy. So there it is, Mr. Softy to the moon right now off of that. Nice long right there off the bottom. We waited, very, very patient, man, and able to get that out. We just took another piece out. Like, this is what we're doing. As it starts ramping itself up, let's just get it out, man. I got mouths to feed, baby. So there it is, a nice little upside move right now. I get updates sometimes when different things go through, and I was like, Marissa just went to Loblaws, and I saw it was like $98 or something. I was like, what happened? And I phoned her anyway. Salmon, apparently prices are getting a little high. We're having salmon tonight, and she had to restock her spices and everything like that. So yeah, definitely food. We talked about PPI today, sort of what we're segueing into here. That would be CPI consumer, but you know, there is some talk here about grocery prices getting absolutely insane right now. I have no idea what a salmon fillet is or anything like that.
I think it was, wasn't the
seemed
lunch
like it was
salmon
really
today? Isn't that what everybody got?
Was
you
it?
guys got salmon.
So maybe salmon's on sale.
That's
Good job, Marissa. Well, I have no idea.
I don't want to talk ill of our caterer, but like my first notion is that, well, if we got salmon today, usually that I think it's on sale. So
me too.
I think Marissa got you guys a deal.
She's very frugal as well.
Yeah, you have to be smart about when you shop. We had a bad night when it came to food.
Yeah, we should go. We do have a local fish. You should go to a local fish place.
You should always do that.
Yeah.
Or you can just go out. You just go out east. We had scallops the other day.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man! I love scallops. I love going out to Halifax and then just eating seafood for every single meal. It is just absolute
great
heaven.
place to visit.
It's a fantastic place to visit.
Living.
It's the East Coast in Canada, obviously. If you guys are American, most of you guys are Americans, so you wouldn't know. I did grab that Bed Bath & Beyond. We got 02s, as I said. I didn't get the fill at 01s. It immediately popped up. I was able to get some out here at 8, and I'm going to put some in front of 415, then some in front of 420, and then 425. Bingo, bango, bongo. Only because, where did Intel go? Yeah, that barely moved, man.
Nothing's moving.
Yeah, what's going on here? Like, I'm seeing AMD move. I'm trying to get more shares in front of 29 even because I got 92s in here to the short side. Yeah, I could have taken something out of like 85, I suppose, but maybe if it goes down there again, I'll plop a bid down there at 85, move the other one back, just as I want to be able to rinse and repeat. I don't think this gap move is going to do much, but at Virgin Galactic, if I like Bed Bath & Beyond breaking 4, Virgin Galactic reclaiming the 5 level. So like that's like a flat bottom breakdown. I short the consolidation. I got one leg out. But at this point, given what I'm sort of seeing happen Bed Bath & Beyond, the market trying to bounce here, I don't know that I want to hold this past 5 even. Like if it reclaims 5, I'll just let it go. Like there's too much. It's down 11%, right? So if it reclaims 5, there's always a chance it just shoots up and gets you like 520 or so. So I'm just going to stop it out here, take the 5-cent hit. I got 1-to-1 on the first quarter, so I might as well, manage the risk on this trade, especially knowing that Bed Bath & Beyond just did the same move.
All right, so we're reloaded again, man. Let's go hit the sirens up one more time. We're trying to do it again for you guys here, one more time here, as we start to get some more out. This time we went long at 10, so our average price now 12s for this. We just got some out at 19s there. And what I'm talking about, if you're like, what is this guy talking about? We're talking about Microsoft right now. So another reload down there. You can see where we got it. We got 10s, and there's the out again. These are 20s, but here it comes right back in again. So let's watch out for this temporary long. Now that the market, I'm gonna take another dime piece right there if we can get it. Cancel. Okay, we did. We got a nice order there. Did I just cancel my stop order? No, I did not. Okay, good. So another piece out on AMD for small little win on that one, but we'll take it. Now we're watching out, and here we go, man. This could break and we lose. There it is. So there it is. Clean break. Hands were off. You saw, executed that trade through. And this is what I do, man. We put our stop orders in. When they hit, and then I get mad and I buy it back because I realize, man, we just got taken out at the bottom and I want to go back in, but nah, not this time. We tried it there on Microsoft. We padded our net, so it's fine. Able to make money on all this, obviously, but there's the one drop off, and unfortunately, there is the L on that last piece. Cancel everything else that we do have upside right now, and now we'll just look for more trades because, shoot. All right, here we go. I'm gonna do it again. I'm just gonna buy more. So I just bought more there at 04. Let's just see. The market, the reason why we did it this time is not because we're trying to be stubborn with Microsoft, but like we just broke the 50 period, which cratered, it didn't crater it, but it gave it that little wick down. And when you're scalping, see now you're starting to take that wick out again. So Microsoft's probably, as I look, it's not doing anything, but it's still at 237. So let's wait to see that maybe we don't go too much lower than what we just did right there. So we'll go back into Softy right now. We're long at 03. Again, this pretty brave position. I don't know if we should really do brave or dumb. Same thing for me. But that bottom right there, I feel like Microsoft today, man, I don't know. I know how good it can get when it wants to run. So it's like, I might try to hold this. Again, it's not a big position right now. That's too low, man. 236.50 is too low. I think we just got to try to remain short, probably, man. We took, good thing we took 2 outs there on AMD. We only have half that position left as well. But I don't know, man. I really want to be long Microsoft. Maybe we have to look at the DXY, see what that's doing right now, because I don't really have any reasons to be long anything right now, to be honest with you. The market's coming back down, and all I'm stuck is long. So I think we should just get out of this, regroup, which we can do, right? Regroup, and then look for some shorts. It's too bad, because we got out of our BOVESPA short, which was great. So, should still have that. Let me see, where is Alibaba?
I was just looking for, you said the DXY, and I was like,
we don't have that.
Oh, well, I looked on Trade Ideas, because I thought maybe they had it, but
they do not.
It looks like they don't. But CYAD, remember I said there was that push and that little wick trade you could have, like breaking 75s, not breaking 3, coming back in there. Well, it does make the break. I did pay for the shorts. It was like literally 2 cents instead of 1 cent. That's what it got repriced to. So that's what cost me the first short. But it goes right to 298. Right, doesn't break 3, short 290s, okay, 289s. Got some out there at 80, gonna get some out in front of 70. So it's basically almost the same setup, right? But in that same channel where I wanted to engage the short, if it fills the 70 fill, then I want the last out in front of 250. So it's all about trading the setup, and then if it flushes, fantastic. However, with this style of trade, if you're not willing to make the high of the day, then you're not willing to make the trade, in my opinion, because my stop is firmly at $3, and if I get top wicked, I don't mind. Like, one of these things, I'm telling you, I want to have a thing where we have, if you get a bottom wick and it's good, it's like we get like some kind of a prize on the day, and if you make a top wick and it's bad, like you get a short and your out is literally the high of the day, so you have the best short ever, but then you lose on it, then there should almost be like drop and give 20 or something like that. Because every now and then it happens to you. Like if I get wicked out at 3, I don't mind because the stock has gone parabolic. But every now and then it's like, yeah, look at me. I made the low of the day on the stock. Put the dunce cap on myself because it happens as a trader, right? It just means that you are willing to be wrong. If you're not willing to be wrong, it's a tough business to be in, and sometimes it's going to happen to you. But we just got CYD. It is already working. Intel, I got no reloads on that short because, quite frankly, it doesn't want to move. I said I'd get some out at 85. You can forget about this type of move. Intel's not going to go. It's not going $1 again. It's already done that today. It doesn't happen twice unless something really crazy happens in power hour. I can't even think of what that might be. You're not getting another dollar move. It's not going 29, 28, but you can get the 10, 15 cent type scalp trades that we like to look for at Intel. So I'm going to get back on the offer in the low 90s, see if we can get those again. I'm still trying to get closer to 90 to 29 even. If they don't fill, they don't fill. There's nothing you can do about that. I'm hesitant to reload Gap. At this particular point, I will reload Bed Bath & Beyond in front of $4. Matter of fact, I just got the fill there, so I got 401s. I'll play this right back to my first outs were up at 08. I'll get 7s and 8s again if I can catch them on Bed Bath & Beyond. This one, sort of failing that 4 break, but I like the fact that it made a big capitulation bottom on volume, put in a higher low, and then broke a channel to the upside. A lot of times that can lead you into VWAP. Of course, the way the market's going, you got to have yourself an out. Mine is at 95.
All right, just a little talk about Microsoft again. I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel we're long 87. We just took a 97 out again. Another dime right there on that trade. Okay. I mean, now you're going to go. Can you give us 2 dimes? Hey, 2's better than 1. So we can get that going to the upside right now. All right. Maybe it does. Maybe we do get that, catch that bottom. I was also trying to, and I hate bottom picking. Like, it's not something that like I'm proud to do right now. Bed Bath & Beyond might be something to look at there. We talked about that breaking, so we'll have to go back over there and maybe have another look at Bed Bath & Beyond. But Microsoft, let's go, man. If we could do it, we're long at 80. shoot, we're long at 87 right there. Do I want to take another piece? See if we get a 98. Well, there it is. We just punched out at some 98s there. Oh, no, we didn't, actually. We didn't get any. Yeah, liquidity is pretty good there unless you post, and then you need it to rip through you, which I just did there at 98, thinking I was punching out. But we're only in the money a dime. So let's hold out for higher here. But again, as long as we stay under this 50 period, I'm not like convinced that this is really a great trade. So, and I don't want to be into something that I don't love right now. So that's something that, you know, even though we are in the money, it doesn't mean that any stretch of the imagination, this is not a great trade yet. It needs to get way above before we do anything. I still think we can get back up at least to 237.15. There we go. See, look, see. So the market right now is breaking. So it's starting to break lower right now. Again, well, I thought it was, and then it just. Yeah, this is the problem. When I'm scalping like this, I shouldn't really look like a 1 minute NASDAQ chart. Like, what? Who does that?
But even on the 15?
Not many people do that, I don't think. But
like, kind of look at the 15 here.
Giving myself heart attacks for no reason here.
Like, we're sitting, can you come to my 15-minute chart?
I mean, there goes Softy right now.
We're in a 10-handle range on the ES. It's like, break this and maybe get to the lows, break to the high. Otherwise, you want to play something that's kind of inside of a range that you're able to take, right? So you are getting some follow through, but you're not really making huge moves. I know we could break either direction here. You can get a bigger move to the upside or downside. But I just got a second leg out there on CYAD. So 29s or 290 into 270. I think 250 is going to be the next stop. If it goes all the way to VWAP, 250 was also the breakout price anyways, where it just make the technical break. It's an upward trending stock. So I'm going to put a target on it, thinking that it's likely to catch a bid somewhere and then kind of re-energize itself back up to the highs. But you get an easy setup there that you'll take 10 times out of 10, adjust my stop order for the amount of shares I got left, and then go on to the next. The next is very likely, of course, to be Bed Bath & Beyond, see where it goes. That is a long, obviously. I don't think these are related, but with the market coming down, that could still affect Bed Bath & Beyond. So this reload, I want it to get to VWAP, but I'm going to get orders every 5 to 10 cents all the way into VWAP in case we do get that pop. I still have some lingering shorts that I have to manage, like Virgin Galactic, but as they start printing, we can start getting out of those. We already know about them. Nothing new there.
No, keep talking.
What?
No, it's fine. You don't have to. No, it's just a joke. The reason why is like I was sitting there praying that Microsoft would go up, and then as soon as you basically started talking, it went up. So that was a good sign.
Allow me to talk about Procter & Gamble if it's going to move it up for you.
I mean, sure. I mean, Microsoft right now is continuing to go higher.
Okay,
so yeah, let's go, Neil. Come on. What do you know about Procter & Gamble?
Well,
what's your favorite product, so on and so forth?
Nice. Nice name there. Okay, that's... Nice is the name
nice
there, Brad. Thoughts on Procter & Gamble tomorrow? Well, they're having a bad day today because retail didn't have a good day. However, it's the problem with them is you've got this rotation that's going on, which is working against some of these higher quality names. Like everyone was going into risk on names, and then they were already starting to take this off. And it's breaking down on the daily chart through 150. It's got a rejection. It's going to come up upon, very likely on those earnings, it's going to have to match up with the 50 and the 200. I love this stock this year. However, this is like one of the first places I rolled into when I was looking at defensive names in 2021, and if you look where it's sort of come from, like it has given you all kinds of opportunity in terms of reloads last year. It's still in the money from those 2021 buys that you could have. So it's got some room to come back to the downside, even on a good print. The retail number is kind of telling you there's some chinks in the armor of the U.S. Consumer. That's not going to be good for Procter. I think they'll be absolutely fine in the long term. I'm just ready to weather the storm of the 50 and the 200 period breaking to the downside. And if that happens, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in. So that's my approach. I'm not really looking to buy any of these highs on Procter, but I'm looking for the opportunity that it breaks down, and that's just going to be getting more long for the long term.
All right.
Did it work?
Great talk.
Okay, good.
Awesome job. We are now 30 cents in the money now on Microsoft. Let's go, bang, right there. So, Neil, you stopped, but it still continued to go up. So let's see. Good job there. Yes, sir. Thank you, Microsoft, as we are now back to the high of the day for myself on the name. So, yes, sir, Microsoft. Picking up that bottom, and look where we just picked it off of, man, 80s again. You can keep on doing this kind of stuff, like trying to pick the bottoms and stuff, but, that one, I told you, just happy that, we found our little magic sauce there to keep talking about Procter, because like that name wasn't really going, man, and all of a sudden started to get going again. So nice little move to the upside there. We just cash it out. I mean, that just went right, well, sitting right there at 23, right at the 50 period. So that was, I mean, hey, we're long at, what are we long, 87? We just got 23s out right there. I'm gonna take one more piece out at 15 if we can, and then just stop it for moving forward. Look at these outs, man. 12s, 15s, 16s, 25. We'll get another 15 here if we can. And that's just what trading is all about. It's all about this. You want to make sure that you're able to catch some money here when you make the right trades. So look at Microsoft going up. So this is the thing, like, sure, I'm long everything. That's fine. But, ultimately, look what's not doing anything. AMD isn't doing anything. It's literally doing nothing as this market starts to bounce back to the upside. Look at Microsoft. There's the bottom, there's the move back up. Now it's fading out a little bit. By the way, I have 10% left, 15% left of my initial position that we had down here. So we just cashed a lot of it out. We went to this 200 period. That was a fantastic move. Rivian, trying to fade a little bit, but our Rivian long is all good because it's all the way down here. So that's so far so good. All right, man, what a great power hour we're about to have here. It's 3 o'clock, and without any further ado, let's go. I'm gonna say happening now. Boom. Yeah, I've only been doing this long enough.
An hour to go. Yeah, we got happening now into the final hour of the day. What a red afternoon it is shaping up to be. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit the like, guys, and subscribe to the channel. We're coming up to a big milestone, 375,000 subscribers on YouTube for us. So if you haven't done so, still about 28%, 30% of viewers lately anyways, not subscribed. So do that if you have a sec. Here we go. Red numbers, as I mentioned, 1.19 right now. S&P 500, the Dow, 1.37, actually leading the way right now as far as all three major indexes. 1.05 there. Look at that. All three, 1, 2, 3,000. Russell, all exactly the same. 0.87, 0.90 for the NASDAQ composite. And the NASDAQ 100, if you're with us early on this morning, we got you ready for United after a decent report for them, but back to the downside as we've seen all day. Coinbase, I'll show you in a sec. Yeah, another back to the downside kind of a move. Microsoft is well laying off 5% of their workforce this morning. They finally confirmed, did Coinbase, that they were going to shutter their Japan operations after rumors were afloat of that last week. New lows as we speak, guys, 5% now for Coin.
To the downside. However, to the upside went CYAD. And remember I told you I'm going to hold out the last for $3 or for $2.50 with a stop at 3. It's not top wick, but it's pretty darn close to it. I actually got out there at 302, so the last of our 290 short we get out of 302s. That's better than the 1-to-1 that we're taking most of the shares on. Actually, we got 2-to-1 on the majority of the shares, but it doesn't go to 250. That's going to happen. You've got to be willing to get out of these when they turn on you, because that could break 3. And instead of rejecting here and going top wick, you just go right into an up halt. Like that happens all the time. And you can say, oh yeah, but if you just hold on to the trade, it's fantastic. Yeah, well, if it halts up and then reopens at 350 and you're stuck holding a 290 short, taking a 40%, 30% loss or 25% loss is not going to be reasonable. You don't know where it's going to open up. That's the risk of taking these trades counter trend. You always have to have yourself in out. Speaking of having it out, I'm just going to make a couple of adjustments here because NIO is doing that thing that it does where it doesn't really move in the afternoon. So as much as the 11 long was good, if it can't hold this little flat bottom, I'm just going to trail out of all of it. At this point, it either breaks up and then gets up to VWAP, or I'm just going to get out. And it's a very similar thing with gaps. These are just trades that I've been in the entire time. I'm going to reload only one time on gap. I don't need two bids. I don't know why I had 2 bids in there. I'll reload once in front of 13. At this point, if it can't break VWAP, well, if it breaks VWAP, I'm going to get out above it. I'm not going to get anything out underneath VWAP. I'm going to try to hold on to this for power hour. If the market bounces, I do like some gap, but just not a heck of a lot happening in it right now. Intel continues to work in the money. However, it's doing that little barcode thing. So I'm still on the offer. I'm actually getting more aggressive. Each time it kind of goes lower, I kind of drop my offer so that if it pops, I can get a little bit more aggressive. And Silvergate does not want to let me back in. It's just, I try to get back into this stock. I kept thinking it was going to get into VWAP here. Now it's rolled back over at 1250. I might just short in front of 1250 at this point. It did a weird capitulation at 1 o'clock. If you look at this wall that was there at 1250, you don't see that happen very often, but that's literally, this is what a flat bottom break looks like. That's the best example of it there for an hour. It just sits at one price, breaks it, single candle down, 50-cent move. So I like that 1250, and I'll short in front of that over there on Silvergate. Just looking for something that can move, and I'm not going to get the prices I originally wanted up at like 1275, 1280. You gotta trade what the market gives you, not the price that you're sitting there hoping to get.
All right, on current roll. All right, right there as I write an email to the wife. All right, AMD. All right, we did finally reload it down here. We got that reload that we wanted. We got an 87 plus a 90, so there's an out. Right there, as you know, we're trying to keep this money in the wheelbarrow. I like the graphic, I think it's fun, but at the same time, we're trying to keep and hold money close to our chest right now, so we will take another piece out. Hopefully it does continue to climb to the high side. Let's look at some more names. Today, Snapchat got downgraded. I don't really know if it's due. No. Did you say something about Bruno? No. Okay, we don't talk about Bruno on this show. No, I had another trade. That's why. I wanted to show you guys Qualcomm here quickly because Qualcomm, ooh, it's still right here. Oh, come on, daily chart. Let's go. Or minute chart. So if you're going to look at Qualcomm, although we just broke out of this level here, so yeah, we just made a nice move to the upside. So I was looking at this level right down here. It's too bad because was debating this long here for Qualcomm down here and missed it. I actually even have my stop in case that level broke, but I never got long. And it was just right when I sat back down from the trade of the day was right here for Qualcomm. So let's look at this chart again. Like, look at this level right here. You want to talk about something retracing back to levels. That's why I wanted to get to this quickly because of what this looks like. I'm going to get another piece out of Softy here at 05. We're long at 87s, guys. Softy's coming back down. AMD's coming back down as well. We didn't get hit at 05, by the way. Yeah, so this Qualcomm trade, all right, now that it's all the way back down, like you're still up on the day, so no surprise there that when the market got going, we just really ripped. But look where I didn't even see this play. This is brand new to me right now. I didn't see this stop right on a dime right there at 123.40. So Qualcomm right now, like, I don't know how else. I mean, I can draw lines, but you know, this is the top right here. This is like, you know, my kid could draw these and probably better than I could. But you're just in this range right now, right? And it's just like doot back and forth here. What about when we break one way or the other? So then you think, okay, which way do we want to be part of this break? Well,
Flat bottom break.
Oh, flat bottom break.
I just want you to say it.
I know. I heard you whispering that, and I was like, what the hell is this guy's problem over here? Like, what is going on? No, now I do. Yeah. So Neil and or the professor coined this flat bottom break. I will let Neil give the credit or take the credit for this because it's definitely not my term. But right there, it looks like this is, I guess, Neil, a flat bottom break about to happen right now. But I don't know if I like it. So I'm thinking about going long here, then getting out on said flat bottom break. So I do have the stop order right now to break through if we get down through 45, which would be right here. But we're at, what are we at, 70? I think if we can get down into the mid 50s, we'll take this long on Qualcomm. So that's what it looks like. Oh, and by the way, Softy, not much diamond hands on that one. But we just got out of Softy right there. Come on, chart, flip it up. As it does give us that 10, it looks kind of sloppy. I mean, I'm trying my best here to get out at the top, which we did do. Now we can sort of all aboard and see if we can hold this for a little bit of a longer move now. But let's go over to Qualcomm and just do that trade. So I'm going to put a bid in the mid 50s, if maybe 60. If we get it, then we'll be able to hold out. If the market pops, we know where it can go. It's going to be a monster winner. Otherwise, we'll take a 15 or 20 cent hit on the bottom. So let's take a 60 long and average into that one.
In fairness, it's Sharif's. Sharif made it up. I just, for you know what's and giggles, I like to have fun trying to pretend that I came up with it. I just love the setup because it's a break of major support, right? Like that's what it's all about.
It's like a flat bottom break, basically.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. What could be happening here, HKD, by the way, this was a monster opportunity on the short side of HKD. Like if you, I'll show you the 15-minute earlier, because when this got up to like 14 even, like that was sort of like an obvious like resistance level. You had the last time it had a wick top to 14. What did it do? Breakout 13, huge wick up, rejects 14 even, went all the way down to what, $11? So short when it fails 14, scalp inside of the previous range. Once it breaks that 1275 area, that's this floor here, hold it all the way down to 11. Like sometimes these things, the setups that they do are so similar. So if you have a good enough memory, or you can just look at the chart, you can try to play the pattern. Now, HKD is breaking out again here at 1225. It hasn't really cleared this, but this was that previous high the last 2 days. So it might run into some trouble here. That's why it's a significant level. And it's kind of like break, come back, break, come back, break, come back. If it can't hold through this 1250, I really do think it's coming right back into like 11, 11 and a half. Which leads me risk to reward to say, if I can short it with a 20-cent risk, which I can right now effectively, I might just go ahead and take that trade. I prefer it sometimes if it breaks the 50 and fails that break, but it's gone above that quarter and it's above VWAP, so I think there are some longs in it already. And just like CYAD, this is more of a risk to reward type of thing for me. So after saying all that, I'm just grabbing some right here. I want to give it to 50. Risk to reward has to be tight on this because like CYAD, if it breaks the top, this can be at $13 in an absolute hurry, right? Like this is a monster potential break that could happen. However, I just favor the risk to reward of risking 15 to 20 cents. Well, it's more like 20 to 25 given where I got the entry price. So always have a stop, always have an out, and then respect it. Like this is not a situation where, oh, it breaks my stop level and I'm like, I don't know, I still kind of like it. No, like this is always going to be a hard stop for me because I just look at the opportunities that can be afforded. I know when it goes for you, you can get a bigger move. Like I like taking it for a bigger move, but I'm going to have a tight stop in there. So I'll take that every single time, that little tight opportunity. And now that it's broken higher, no sweat off my back, but I almost want it to go 13 or 14 to give me that next look. And if it fails this break, I can jump right back in again because it only cost about 20 cents to try and capture a dollar type move there, at least 50 cents to a dollar anyways. And while that was going on, there was just this opportunity. I see Majid talking about the UVIX. Thank you for the super chat there. I haven't really I haven't been watching volatility enough except to know that VIX made a huge bottom on the daily chart. If you look at it daily on the VIX, it was a huge bottom that just got made. So that could be, people are talking about that could be like a bit of a turnaround, and we ended up getting that today. So that has played out, but I'm about to get my next fill in Intel if it'll just print the offer. That'd be nice if it would print the offer. I'm going to get on a different gateway. See? Yeah. Okay, whatever. I get on the offer, finally get that fill because it was sitting there at 92s, and then it goes right through. The second I was filled, it just goes right through the order. I still like that 29. On every single pop into 29, we're taking this one short over and over and over again.
You want to talk about over and over and over again? Let's spin that over and over and over again right now because here we go, man. Money. You know, we good right now. Nice move upside here for Microsoft. Up now 40 cents. It just ripped up to here, 237.50, 237.45, which gives us a pretty decent 60-cent win right now on that name. AMD also, man, just boom to the upside. This is, hey, look, if you're joining us now for the very first time, welcome. Hit the subscribe, and thank you so much for coming through. But this is the Power Hour. But they got to turn the damn machines on. If the market's not going to go, it is going to be hard to sit here and try to pull, you know, blood from a stone, et cetera, et cetera. But when this move happens, you know, your boy's here to capture it. So right there, there's a nice trade, 30 cents on AMD, 50 cents now on Microsoft. And Rivian can, whatever, man. We don't have too many shares left. We already destroyed this. When this came up here, it was really this level, the 80s, that was big off that 50. So a 30-cent push there for Rivian, now back up to the upside. But hey, you know, at this point, it is about stacking, and at this time of day, if the market's not like going too crazy, then you want to try to stack up right now, and that's kind of what we're doing, getting out of some of our shares as we start to go back up to the upside right now. Okay, there's a poll up. Time to address. Thanks, Justin, or whoever threw this up for putting that up. Thank you, Bradley Beal over there. What is your favorite chip maker stock?
There should be an other.
AMD, Intel, NVIDIA, or Taiwan Semi.
It's a trader invest.
That's the thing. It's a little bit. What's my favorite? I'm going to go with AMD. I mean, I made the most money for sure off AMD, so I'm going to check with AMD. But I do like, and for me, it would be AMD or NVIDIA. I don't really have too much love for any of the other ones. But I'm long Intel as a new position. I've been long AMD since teens, so that's been a good trade for me, obviously. And NVIDIA as well was a pretty good trade, although that one split up a couple times back and forth there. Let us know what you think. And look, the vote already has 300 votes to it. It was put up about about a minute ago. This only has 800 likes. Let's get this one going a little bit here. Over 4,500 people watching. And as I can see, I believe it's 25% off. Or is it 20 right now? I don't know, but we do have this affiliation right now with trade ideas, blah, 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 as we go. I want to shout out, by the way, Michael Noss today. He heard me talking and sent me a scanner to try to find like days high and low breaks, stuff like that. So a big shout out to you, Michael Noss. Thank you for everything that you've done for us here at Trader TV Live. Okay, we just got, I mean, that move just happened upside and then downside. That's why you take advantage of said moves when that does happen. But here we go, Qualcomm. We just got long, baby. So it just went up to 123. Let's see if we can do it again. Qualcomm, new position alert for me. You already know the play, so let's see now if it will work.
Well, you know how I answered that poll. And it's not, so it's going to be weird because I'll take it as, I answered Intel, but just because that's the one I like to trade more. But I don't necessarily think that that's, like I'd probably lean more towards NVIDIA if I have to pick in that group. But there's a lot of interesting names, and we could talk about Lamb that wouldn't been in that poll. Other would have been interesting, but it just gives you the same range. Like Intel, it's a good structured trading stock, so it just gave me some of those tops at 92, 93. For whatever reason, that's a high, and then you're right back into the low. So rinse and repeat over and over again, but just stick to your lane. Like what? It doesn't matter if you like trading something, as long as it works for you. That should be the only basis that you care about for something to trade. Obviously, investing is a totally different ballgame, and you want to stick into the fundamentals there. Brendan.
Just be aware, guys, Fed's Harker speaking right now, looking for 3.5% inflation by the end of this year, saying the time for significant increases is over. So a lot of positive comments so far from Fed's Harker speaking right now.
Moving. I was just looking at Netflix just went green on the day. There's a move. I just hear Sharif's like, yeah, baby, for Netflix. He's happy about that one. This is breaking out, right? Like, this is kind of what you want to see. Shout out to, I saw some people talking about this. Ron Williams, even just like 2 seconds ago in the chat, Ron Williams saying options pricing a $27 move in Netflix for their earnings. That is hefty, obviously. Today's range about $10. However, when you go to the daily, you know, that's pulling right back to the 50 period moving average, 300 support. That would be breaking back out into the 360 range, which was the top of the gap fill from last time, or that last, well, not the last time they had earnings, but that big earnings disaster back in April of 2022. We are in earnings season, man, and Netflix is the big one that's going to be coming. So I might get over to Netflix here and just, if I sniff 325 again, maybe the market drags us back, I might look for a VWAP dip here in Netflix. Good name. Someone just said nobody likes Micron. Well, there's 4 spots in the poll and there was no other. Like there's so many chip names you can put in there. Like you can't put them all. Like it's just, what are you going to do? Somebody's getting snubbed every single time. Like, we didn't talk about AMAT. We didn't talk about ASML. Like come on. Like there's so many, although those are like chip machine, like and it's kind of a different story there, unrelated names. But there's so many you could go to, really.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, you actually answered the question yourself when you said, like, is it to trade? Is it to invest?
Yeah,
like, you know, what is it your opinion moving forward? So on and so forth. What I wish I would have had was, I mean, it went to 82, man. Just so crazy because we did go to 82 on this name, and then it dropped off, which kind of sucks. So Qualcomm. Oh, we got our fill at 50 now, or 55. It went right up to 83 off of our 60 long, and we didn't take any out. So yeah, for sure, man. I mean, we keep saying that we got to take advantage when these stocks start to move around. I did not do that. Qualcomm went right back up, and now we may have to pay the piper as this move looks like it's trying to go downside right now for Qualcomm. If it does break this 45, we're out. So we're pretty close right now to calling it a day on Qualcomm right now. So let's watch out to see where it wants to go. But yeah, so far, not great. Not great execution. It did go up there, and didn't take advantage of it. And now it looks like it does want to come back in. So, hey, our average price is 57. All right, like we get out for flat now if we want. Let's hold this for a little bit more. A break of 45, I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't break it. Let's just hold out to see if it does. And if it does go back up, that's a 70. I guess we could put an offer near 70. I still think that that's not great, but let's try to get that out. And if we do wind up taking a piece out, that's fine. And then if it rips up, we do have our out up here right now. But let's see if it can hold that very bottom of 122.50 right now to the downside. So that's what we're trying to do, hold out for that. AMD, good out up there. It's still kind of not moving around. And then our Rivian is kind of falling back, man. I mean, I'm hoping that we can get a reload back down here near 50, but it's not really looking great here for that Rivian, as it's just kind of been faded out. I wonder if that's similar goings on Tesla right now. No, Tesla's actually still pretty strong. So it is not strong, but still holding up. Man, look at these wicks. Oh, I got to get rid of those. Didn't you have a meeting about getting rid of these or something?
So no, I have a ticket.
There's a ticket in. Okay.
Being a prop floor with like, so this prop floor we're on, Day Trade the World. There's hundreds of these throughout the world. So as managers, like we have the opportunity to put tickets in, improve the system. That's what it's all about. It's like it's a system built by day traders for day traders, meaning that if we want a feature request, we want the charts to have an indicator. Like you got to go through the request system, and then they have monthly meetings to put those in. But we chart every single print that comes off the time and sells. And that's going to include like delayed dark pool prints. And sometimes they can get annoying to look at, but that's just par for the course. And there's ways to hopefully filter those out that we can get to. I do want to show you guys this because we show you successes and failures. It wasn't a negative trade, but CYAD here, I just said, I've gone to my chart, I just said we should have a thing where you drop and give 20. Well, it went to 250 after all, but sometimes it just has to run stops before you get the bigger move. That's how the market works a lot of times. Like the bigger move and the bigger follow through almost has to take a lot of operators out so that there's less people bidding on the way back to the downside. When everyone's got the obvious short or the easier short, then a lot of times it doesn't have as much, it doesn't follow through as well because there's more people on the bid trying to get out on the way back down. But once it ran the stops at 3, I wasn't willing to short it down at 280, which is I think the prices that you were able to get with liquidity, because that was the risk to reward. I didn't like 280 short into 305. But you had to grab this back in at 95 on the wick top and be very quick about it. I was not fast enough as I was getting stopped out. But you can always learn from something like that and try to be quicker. Every now and then I do catch one where it makes the wick top. I'm right there on the stock, and you're just hitting it right here at 95 on the way back in, and it's an easy short. But you got to be on that level too. Trading multiple stocks does come with a price. And that price often will be that you're not looking at it when it gives you that opportunity. I have my orders. I have my orders out sometimes, but I have more than one chart. I show you this one, but I have other charts up here on my other screen. So I know Intel's back at my entry price, so I can just fire the order out there knowing it just bounced and wants to give me the same trade over and over again. I do have my trail on that GPS. And Netflix, I thought when the market started coming back down there a second ago, Netflix was going to start pulling back, but it's actually accelerating a little bit. And I just actually want to thank Prad for sending me this, because we were just talking about implied volatility, and there's probably other sources out there. We're not affiliated with Options AI, but just threw this one out because we were just talking about the implied move. You can find maybe a million sites that'll show you this, but it's always good to have an idea what you could be facing tomorrow, so that if you get a move that is less than this in the aftermarket, then you might see an extension to some of these levels going into the actual trade. So this is what they're kind of looking at here. And this is essentially like if you go back in, like this is Jan 20, so like this week options, essentially the swing expected move, 8.5%. If you go out, obviously you have a bigger spread. But it's a great resource to have, just so that you have an idea of the level of volatility you should expect on an earnings day, because your range is likely to be, not guaranteed to be, but it's likely to be bigger than the last couple of days. You've had $10 ranges on Netflix, which is like a nice little 3% back and forth the last couple of days. We're not going to have a 3% day tomorrow. It's just not going to be the case. And I'm not going out on a limb saying that. The data tells you that. I mean, common sense tells you that, but the data also tells you that.
Let's go. I'm not done with this Qualcomm by any stretch of the imagination. We just got some 68s, so now we're going. I mean, our price is 56 right now. It was 57, so that's why we. I mean, it doesn't matter that it's 57, but we took that out rate there at 68 to give us that dime. But we want more on Qualcomm, a lot more than this, especially if this market does want to go back up to said upside one more time. So yeah, let's keep on running this, man. Let's see if we can get it upside now on Qualcomm. We have a good price, I feel like. Hopefully we can get that trade now. Upside for QCOM. And there it goes right now. I mean, it's 20 cents in the money. We need more than that if it's going to work out for us. What happened to my Microsoft trade, by the way? Oh, wow, Microsoft continued. I didn't even realize that. That just broke that low. So we are out right there of Microsoft. Flush that down the toilet. Wasn't really a big hit, though, right there. So I don't know. We must not have had too many shares. Oh, well, we got out for flat, so that's probably why. It didn't really alter my net too much. But all right, Qualcomm. Now, whatever. I'm going to take 20 cents. So let's put an offer at 76, almost flat right there. And then we'll wait. Now we'll wait, right? Now that we have this, we can probably afford to wait up into the 90s or so. We'll see if we can get anything going here for QCOM. Back straight up to the upside now. Let's see if it wants to work. We have our outs. Good trade there on Qualcomm. Let's see if there's anything else. We need to find something that's short, right? Amazon. Oh, this is the drop and give us 20, or give yourself 20, do 20, because this was like you want to talk about making top wick before it absolutely falls $4. I mean, this one right here, short, takes 99. Yeah, exactly. So it goes up to 99.50. The thing is, we saw it ramp up, man. We knew this was going to happen. Even when I was in this trade, I'm like, this is ramping up. There's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And then it finally took us out. And instead of like acknowledging that, I should have waited for the top wick there. And then once it took 99 again, then go back with it. So that was something there. Definitely messed up on that for me. So there's Amazon. Sucks, man, because there's the short. We took a nice profit on the first short. The second time, third time blast. Now you're just hovering around here. So, all right, this one might be a long. That's sort of what we're going through now today. Huge move to the upside, and now just trying to bounce off some of these bottoms right here. Would much rather be closer to this 95.50 area, but hey. You guys like Amazon long? I mean, maybe we could test that out. For right now, we're already triple longs, man. We've got Rivian, Qualcomm, and AMD. So, man, come on, Apple. Announce that you want to go back to Qualcomm. I mean, that would be nice right now. Get Qualcomm up like $10. That'd be good. But so far, so good here on this Qualcomm long. Yeah, I don't know. We're long at 56. Now. So let's see if we can get two dimes, get some out at 76, and then we're ultimately, man, I'm holding for this 123. That's where I think it goes. The market just has to follow suit.
We could have had Apple in that poll. Like, that's the thing. Like, you could have so many Apple pulling out and going their own way. Yep. Is going to be, it's trouble for a lot of people because they're just such a big client, or at least they were. But I'm looking at Meta here. Look at 134 on Meta. I'm talking literally 134.00, so 134 evens. If this market wants to try to go up, that's an easy sort of breakout. If I wasn't, I'm leaning short, obviously, as it is right now, but I think that 134 on a break stands out if it can go. I missed out on the break on 325 over there on Netflix, and maybe it comes back and gives me that price. I don't know if that's going to be the case. As I go from there, and I'll get a stop order just to go long. Like, look at the channel to the upside even. Just hold some higher lows here and get a bounce in this market, and that looks pretty solid. I just said put a stop order, and then I didn't do it, so let me just go ahead and do that now. Stop order in on Meta, and then I can go over to Virgin Galactic. Where are you, Virgin? So Virgin Galactic, what in the actual, it's still on New York. Like, I know that this is a New York stock. I know it. I trade Virgin Galactic all the time, like all the bloody time, and I still type in NASDAQ. But I just got some at 490. I have 80s and then 75, but I gotta respect the fact that this has been kind of a nothing burger and just like a boring, doesn't want to move type of stock. It's giving you 5-10 cents at a time. I like Meta's chance to go here. I definitely look at Netflix and say the last dip came into 325.50. So I don't want to just be blindly sitting in front of 325. It could come all the way back to 24.5, and that might be the support level. So I have to back off of that. Like, I missed the breakout at 25. Now if it prints it, I don't think I like it as much.
All right, one more out coming, hopefully for AMD, if we can get it. Oh, there it is, we just got, or 14s. They're on AMD, sorry, 15s, I guess. Right there on AMD as it just drifted right back to the upside again. So 30 cents in the money. We're just gonna take it as we look for more things to do right now. Let's maybe All right, now AMD blast, so this is gonna be good, man. Hopefully it does go back up to the upside. And I'm just waiting for that Qualcomm to go. That's like the day for me, not the day for me, but that's what I'd like to see happen for Qualcomm. Now upside targets, since we're like trying to break this, 71.25, let's just go higher and have a target of 71.50 now for AMD. Why not, man? 70 cents, we can take the whole range, take it top to bottom here in the afternoon. As my eye is still looking up, Mullen back down to 28 cents. Yeah, I don't really want to call, I'd call that up for you guys. Let's have a look at what Mullen's been doing today. See the volume, 200 million, yeah, 170 million shares so far today on Mullen. For the daily range, yeah, I mean, what was this level that broke? 30, wow, okay. Man, bang trade and slap a fail. This is where, if I could just clone extra, because like right there, this 30, by the way, Qualcomm just broke lower rate there. Yeah, could make a chat GPT, but it doesn't actually program for you, I don't think.
It can. It can.
Yeah,
well,
you have to really be specific with it.
Yeah, you can, but it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah. So there goes Qualcomm, by the way. We take a hit on that. Good thing we took double outs there for a little bit of profit. But when we check the net, we will be negative on it. Yes, a cup of coffee on Qualcomm. But right here, Mullen holding out 28 cents. I don't know if you guys can see it on this chart. Yeah, right there. But there's that 30 break. Like, how good was that, man? Just breaking another key level, the level that held all yesterday. And then, why isn't that? Wait, and then right there, that's not 30 cents. That's a horrible line. That's 30 cents. So once he broke it down below that, which happened really early, well, actually happened at 11 o'clock. Look at this, big time selling to the downside. It's only going to be 2 cents, but still, Mullen trying to hold out at that 30 level. It does not, and it goes back down to the downside. Looks like Qualcomm was the breakdown, was the one that we wanted there. Good thing we got out of everything else, man, but there goes Qualcomm. Pretty good break to the downside. This is what whoops, we're still on that. This is what I mean by a cup of coffee. Like out there, you guys saw we got out, right? Those were 68s or 70s. What did we get some out that? My best out right there, 68. So we got some 66s, 68, which is not bad because that's a 55 long, so 13 or 14 cents, and then that's a 45. So we give that 13 cents right back there. Out on Qualcomm, wish it would have worked, but it didn't. Maybe we just go short here, Qualcomm, as the market broke, and now, this is the thing, man. Where's these machines, man? They got turned on. We got excited. We got out. We rang the register, and right now it's like sleepy time again as we go right back into this level one more time. Market down 1%. Hopefully it wants to get off of that, but so far not doing much. Your Intel short's doing nicely. You want to talk about that? We do have that small cap recap.
We are going to go to the small cap. I'm going to punch out of gap because it's not really moving. But I did get the next fill on Intel. I think the next stop could be the 75. I want to hold this one going into the rebalances, the imbalances coming in about 20 minutes if I can. But let's go to Brennan and see what's going on in small cap world.
Hey guys, yeah, make sure you do take a second, hit the like and subscribe to this channel. Before we get into some of the small caps still moving around here this afternoon. 509 to sell right now on the imbalance as well. Decent size, 509 million to sell right now from the imbalances. Here we go, TCBP. Was one we were discussing. Speaking of sell side, here we go on this one as well, breaking downside as we speak. Give you a long opportunity off the pre-market high right out of the gate this morning. Came back in and held 650. That ripped up to $8 at the top there, so a nice couple dollars worth of a long. It's done nothing since, just chopping around in about a 50-cent range or so. AMC was a tough one this morning. It was kind of choppy back and forth until we finally broke down after 10:30, 10:45 even, when it took out that low. And then obviously the move was made to the downside. Flat trade for me, but worth a shot anyways. Should have given it to the day high. Might have worked out a little better, 650. OTRK, which was that on track. Interesting look here for this one as well. I was kind of looking for 182 up here. Didn't get there, but did halt initially on the way up. Little tiny penny stock yesterday, so a bit of a move it would have taken anyways, 182. Maybe on watch for tomorrow, guys. Still holding on to this. 93% move today for OTRK.
Average move.
That's not bad. I mean, into a market which is absolute crap. Like if I look at my quote board and sort by like percent gains, like the only things that are actually up significantly, UVXY obviously, but there's just a bunch of small caps that I was looking at this morning. Moderna, because it gapped up.
Wow.
Macy's is up 1%. Okay.
The market.
So I actually didn't see that one coming. Macy's is relative to, but I know Gap is as well. But the market's now really starting to roll over. Why is this on Amazon? I wasn't even trading Amazon. That's just absolutely weird. I must have clicked Amazon on my quote board. It automatically switched over. But Space just made another leg down. I'm just going to get on the offer at 85. I don't know why I was at 83. It just touched 85 on that last push from 90. So every 5 cents literally is where it's going, which means I'll go 85 and then I'll put 480 on the bid. I'm not even going to be complicated about this one. That's what you want to do, Virgin Galactic. I will oblige you and then just take it right out at every single 5-cent move. I want to hold these shorts hopefully into the close. We'll see what happens in about 15 minutes. The early look on the imbalances is 509 million to sell. That's not a gigantic number, but it is overall to the sell side. Currently, you can see the market making a fresh low. DWAC, I have canceled my flat bottom break.
You should coin that.
Yeah, I should coin it because it's not moving. B, if it does it this late, I'm kind of already in it. If it breaks the bottom, I'll just try to get out on that break, and I'm going to have a trailing stop on this anyways, like 15 cents higher from here, just to make sure this can't turn into a losing trade on DWAC. But I've been sitting in it since the news, and this doesn't do volume anymore. That's the other reason why I like fading every move I can on DWAC when it comes to the upside, because it doesn't do any volume. It can't follow through if no one cares about it. It's just a harsh thing to say, but it's just true.
I'm surprised at the volume for sure of DWAC today. I feel like it should have taken that level. It should have taken 10 for sure. All right.
It's going at some point.
It's going for sure. It's going down right there. I thought there was that agreement that he had to stay on the truth no matter what, but I don't know.
Maybe okay.
I don't know enough about it.
He could join Twitter. He could come back to Twitter without leaving truth.
Yeah, it's just matter. I think it's just his posts, right? Is what they were worried about. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know enough about it. We'll leave that to everybody that holds shares. I assume that you guys would know more about that. Rivian's come right back in again. Good thing. I mean, right when we started the show. I mean, not even when we started the show. We got out of this at 240 right there, and then we're holding 15% back to the downside. We talked about that. It's been a nasty hold. We should have got out there at the 200 period. We're going to look to reload it down here again. AMD did dip down though, but again now, just I don't know. I feel like we need to go short something there. So AMD did just come out right there. But again, like, look, out, perfect, out, flat. Like, you know, if the market doesn't go, there's not much we can do. So let's just go over to something that's maybe moving a little bit more than normal here today as we go. I mean, Alibaba, we had that trade, was a good one today for me. Okay, now the market's trying to rally backside a little bit. There was Alibaba breaking 115, first out 114.50. 50 cents, then we take 113.70, $1.30, you know, and now you're trying to bottom out. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like any of these, man. Let's get some likes going out here. I know, Dr. Crusher, I'm getting fussy. That's the point. Like, honestly, when you sniff, you know, success and you've sort of like had ideas about plays that you want and then you don't see them, sometimes it's worth just sitting on your hands. If that's getting fussy, then yeah, like I am. I like to see more picky, maybe more specific about what we're looking to and not just jumping into something like crazy, trying to give you guys the big wins, you know, that we're looking for, right? And we've had some monster ones today. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple. I mean, they're all in today, back and forth. I mean, here's the Apple trade from this morning. This long right here, 136, right? There's the out, 138, $2 right there, done. Done. No other trades. We got in and out there to show our position board. But yeah, no other trades there. Oh no, that was when we thought it was going to break right there. But yeah, man, trying to be very specific. But thanks to Dr. Crusher there. I hope you, Dr. crushed it today for sure to the downside. Microsoft 236 maybe. That Qualcomm was good. But again, there's the break lower. Should have hit the short. Didn't. But yeah, man, trying to be more specific rather than fussy. Here as I'm just keep scanning these different charts, looking for things here.
The inevitable truth about trading, we should really have changed that to a bear. The inevitable truth about trading is you have to be willing to sometimes not take a trade. Like, that's just part of it. If you're never willing to be like incredibly patient or only take the best fills or only get the trades that you believe in or the ones that have a positive expectancy for you, then it's never really going to work out there. As I try to make sure he has arms this time, because I always do a half-ass job of it when I do it too quick. But that's part of the game. Someone in the chat was just saying,
JP
why is
Morgan
Macy's
too.
so strong? All I'll give you, despite that retail number, is that Gap and Macy's have exactly the same look. They've been on a bit of a tear, and they were looking like they were breaking out. 23 on Macy's, It was $13 on Gap was the price. I know because I actually just got out of Gap like 2 seconds ago because I knew it was about to trail me out. And it just managed to hold that breakout price. So the buyers, they're here, like 22.80 to 23. Like there's buyers supporting the stock on Macy's. They both have some short interest that could be a bit of a catalyst, but they're bucking that trend. So if strength comes back into retail, you have two names which are probably at least a little bit related, making the same moves. It's exactly the same chart here at 13s. I just got out because it's not moving anywhere, but I know relative strength when I see it. They've both been on a tear. They're both holding this breakout price. I think tomorrow, looking above that 13, that 23, if it's still holding support, you need the market to help you out though. The market's entirely too weak for the continuation to happen here on Gap and Macy's. But just note the relative strength and work with it tomorrow if it sets up. Brendo?
This note on Bed Bath & Beyond just came out from CNBC. I was sitting here waiting for a reaction, and it finally came. So a bit of a delayed reaction there. But volume coming back into CNBC. Bed Bath & Beyond looking for a capital infusion buyer ahead of likely bankruptcy filing. Yeah, no kidding. In here, though, it points towards the summer. I'll read through it again, but it points towards the summer as far as a timeline is concerned. But that just out for BBBY, trying to go higher.
And so someone would buy them, eh?
That's fine. I'm ready. I'm just going to go long. I mean, I've been waiting for something to happen here. We talked about trying to be specific. I mean, this is kind of a break that we should take maybe. That's 08 right there. I was waiting for about a 10 break on Bed Bath & Beyond. Again, if they're going to find some cash infusion and they're going to survive a little bit longer, then that's good. And let's see if that is exactly what winds up happening for Bed Bath & Beyond and their shareholders here. Yeah, so far so good. Oops, I just canceled something I didn't need to. That was Rivian, that's okay. So let's take it, man. If you want to take out 10, we'll go into Bed Bath & Beyond right now. Maybe, hey, more of a lifeline, more chance for them to succeed. I know, we're just kind of throwing darts at this. But that just came from 385. So basically, you know, 30 cents, not 30 cents, 20 cents to the upside, right? So you get like a little bump there. You don't need that much to get these stocks going and giving yourselves a decent return. So let's wait to see if Bed Bath & Beyond can go. If we do get long into this name, I mean, we're right at a spot right here that kind of, 10 is pretty good. That high is only 12, so we want more than that. 25, VWAP is 25. So yeah, if we get a 10, I mean, I'm here to take it. So if it does come through, we will go long at 10. And then my out's always pretty simple. There it goes. I mean, it just went to the downside, so I don't think we're going to get it. It's probably a short there. I actually didn't even pay for shorts today. 395 or so probably as an out where the 50 period is. So right now it looks like Bed Bath & Beyond trying to go long here.
Yeah, I didn't pay for locates either. It's too late. It's 340 already. Like, you do the math in your head. Like, is it going to be worthwhile to pay for the locates? Because the flip side of a level, because I was long the 4 break and it couldn't go past 10s, and then I stopped out at 95. So that was like, it gave you a little bit of a win, and then, once it got a little bit close to 1-to-1, actually a bit less than 1-to-1, I stopped out. I don't want to pay for the shorts this late in the day. There's not ample opportunity to use them. I know we'll trade this tomorrow, but that news plays in both directions because you can look for investment to come in and some money to come in to get you through a bankruptcy, which I think is likely to be the case. They're still saying likely bankruptcy. So I don't know how positive that is. You want to play the price action. If it can't break out the first resistance level, it's almost like just short off of that. But as we said, we actually have to bother to have the locates to go short because those are the rules. So, they're not free. Sometimes that's just typically what the market is. Like, sometimes it's easy to borrow, other days you have to pay for it. It's all a supply and demand thing. And so some of these heavily shorted names, you are paying for locates on them. Just to go back over to a couple of other names here because it's time to start getting out. They got to get a little bit more aggressive here. At least I have to get a little bit more aggressive. Intel is working, but I'm gonna move my bid up, not by much there, just to get more shares out on Virgin Galactic. And someone was like, "Oh yeah, Intel's printing to the short side today." Intel's been like a lot of other things. It's been printing to the short side for a while, and it made a double top here at about $30. Like you can see on the daily chart. Once it did that, it's like, okay, I like shorts again. It's just try to keep it simple. The trend is your friend. It tried to break out 30. It failed 30. It was a short. I had gotten away from the short for the last little bit here. But when it put on that head and shoulders, when in doubt, zoom out. Like, what does this tell you? A stock which had been breaking out off 25, which a lot of people love that 25 level. I got no issues with that. And then goes to 30. tries to break out 30, and then rejects it in a couple of days. Look at how easy that short is in front of that $30 level, and it goes right down that dollar. It's the setup that counts. I'm sure there's a million setups that look at that. It's just a matter of seeing it somewhere that you like and then putting the trade on. My only mistake was being anchored to 29 and getting out of the trade at 29 because it's a round number. It goes another like 30 cents down for a cleaner move, and I was so anchored to the round dollar that I couldn't get myself away from it, and that's my problem. A lot of times when I trade the stock, I just see evens, 25s, 50s, and 75s, and I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah, I'm always trading around those quarter points as well as a lot of you would know. But we do have a new position alert right now, and it's going to be AMD. So this one, I just think makes sense. I mean, this bottom is 70.50. The market's trying to break. You can clearly see that to the downside now as this market goes. So we'll see. It's still going down now, 1.1. I feel like this is the name that's down today with the market. So let's see if it does give us that trade now for AMD. And then the short rate back up to here, up to 71 bucks. I mean, if it's going to be wrong, I think this is well worth it for the risk to reward. The one thing that definitely, we just got more Rivian, by the way, as that just loaded. I mean, now I got to trade it. Stupid Qualcomm. I mean, that stock is whatever, man. I'm really happy with it because at least it's doing what we said it would do. But it is still cratering down to the downside. Qualcomm off that call that we made, by the way, guys, for Qualcomm. Where is it? Find it on my blotter here so I can quickly show you. Look at this. We talked about it breaking one way. I put my money wrong there because Qualcomm was up today. Look at that break, right? There's the break that you want to the downside. We'd be ringing the register right now if that wasn't the case, but it's not. So right now we'll have to wait for it. But now we're doing pretty good, man. We're just sitting around waiting for these stocks to move. I'm going to average in here, just make sure, yeah, we are at the 50 period right now for AMD. It's the 200 period and the 50 period lined up at 90. So if we do get a move back up, we will take that average in and grab that short there. Rivian in. Just took some out. We just got long at 50, so there's the bid there. Take some out at 54. Maybe it can rip up back up to the upside right now, and we'll go. So Rivian right now on my mind, as is AMD. But AMD looks like it wants to go back to the upside. We only have 5 minutes now. I said, Sean,
two imbalances.
Yeah, we said we wouldn't do this, hold into the imbalance, but now it's 500 million shares to sell. So, okay. Here we go. I'm in this into an imbalance. I said I wouldn't do this.
So I just want to point there's a lot of questions coming out about like what is the imbalance and what does it mean. So I kind of feel like it behooves us to steal something from Sharif using a school word there. Behooves us to at some point do it. I think we did a video on this, and I'm sure you can check our More Trader TV Live page for something on imbalances. But maybe we need to do a refresher at some point on it.
Correct.
The long and short of it is the market opens and closes with an auction, and you put orders into said auction before the market opens. That book is consolidated on the trading floor of the NYSE or electronically on the NASDAQ. And before they come to an opening or closing price, they disseminate the actual, not the order flow that's come in specifically, but the difference between the buy orders and the sell orders, and they show you the amount of the shares. So if there's 10 million total orders in Apple, let's just say, but there's 1 million extra buy than sells, and you have a buy imbalance of 1 million. So when we say the overall imbalance, what we mean is if you take all the stocks in the market, the imbalances, and add up the imbalances buy and sell, and you get an overall number for the market, and that's what we're talking about when we say 500 million to sell. Individually on each stock in about 3 minutes, you will see, and I can put it up for you here, individually on each stock, you will see like a number that comes in. This is from the morning, so like PRTY, it has a huge sell imbalance. This is actually halted because it's going bankrupt and it's probably
they didn't open up.
delist. It never opened up, by the way. But it does show like there were net paired off 1 million volume and a sell imbalance of 2 million, meaning there's over 3 million shares that wanted to participate in whatever the reopen was going to be, and there was 2 million more sells than it could be accommodated on the buy side. So if it were to open, obviously going bankrupt, but if it did open up, that was going to open up in the crapper. This morning, CCL was a buy imbalance. You'll see these update for the closing imbalance in about 2.5 minutes. And the reason why they do this is so there's an orderly imbalance. If CCL comes out a massive buy and some whale wants to sell it, they're like, oh, look, I can put my shares and sell them into the auction without moving the price because it has a buy imbalance. So they do it publicly so that you can have an orderly close. But we talk about it every single day just because sometimes it can move the market. It doesn't always move the market, but sometimes it can move the market.
All right, so yeah, okay, we'll take some 80s here. We're only short at 85 on our average for AMD. You guys saw that. It just pulled back in a little bit here as we only now have, good talk there, Neil. We only have a couple minutes now until those imbalances at 350. I have them up right here as well. We'll watch it out. Like Neil said, this party is not nothing. It's going to be there just because, but hopefully it's gone by the time we release it come out, because unhalted and unopened here today so far. All right, man, I got another bid at 80, which is nothing for this. Then, oh no, we don't. I don't have any more bids. We already got a bid at 80 right there. That was my bid, so we talked about that. And then I have one at 77 where we first took the short. Again, if that's going to be our average price, we'll take another piece out there if it does go. And then, of course, I have to change my stop order now because the high take is a break, right? So if it breaks higher than that, then we want to get out of 71. So if it breaks higher, then we're gone on that play. Rivian, we got some 54s and some 55s. Hopefully we can go back up to the upside. You're seeing 2 ticks up there. But now with only a minute left, this is when the imbalances really start to matter, right? Peloton, someone said, Sean, can you check out Peloton? Let's do that real quick before the imbalances are up. What a great name, up huge over the last little while is Peloton, but not really today. You can see here, $7-8, right up to 12. It's already made this move before, came back down here, and I don't know why we're missing all these days, but $7 up to 12 and stopping. So yeah, Peloton, as some of these names go, man, it's going to be a tough go for these names that don't make money. Interest rates, I don't know if I have to tell you guys this, they're still rising, and you're going to get one more raise next month in February when they do that, and then we'll see. I think it was locked in at a quarter point, right? So Brendan talked about the Fed rate tool already today, unless it's changed. I don't see why it would. It could change on numbers, which is why we looked today on the PPI, and apparently it did not. So nothing to see here as far as those numbers are concerned, and just more, more reasons to think that some of these names that quite frankly don't make any money are going to be in a problem spot here moving forward. And one of those is Peloton. Affirm's another one. Here we go with the imbalances coming out. Let's see where we go. Right now we are on the bid. Okay, so it's a good one. Nice little move to the downside here for AMD.
Apple to sell 1.8 million. That's the biggest one.
Perfect.
Amazon 1.3 million to sell. Microsoft 1.1 million to sell. TSM 1 million to sell. Ford 900,000. So obviously it did come net to the sell side. The market's at a fresh low, obviously here. Yeah, I mean those are all the big ones out there. I don't really see anything. Alphabet. 600,000, but it's the big names in tech that are leading the way. 2-set downside, RLX, whatever that is. Looks like it's just like a $2 stock. It matters. Like a $2 stock for $2 million means nothing. 1.7 million on Apple for $135 stock, that means something. Like that notional value matters a lot. I should put that up on this next time. I'll add that to my list. But for whatever reason, I'm short in Intel, and that's actually bouncing on this. So again, it doesn't have to move. I'm just going to get out in the bid here. It doesn't seem to want to go too much further. Virgin Galactic, I have a trailing stop on all these. Like I got at a gap on a trail, and this is starting to come back to the upside. So even though it was a sell imbalance, the shorts that were working are starting to come back into the upside. I didn't see a buy imbalance on Virgin Galactic, but it's down 12%. Probably some profit taking happening in some of the more depressed names.
Yeah, that would make some sense there. All right, guys. Yeah, so let's finally, man. Yesterday it didn't work. Today it does. We got that fill down there at 77. So we're doing pretty good. We have another bid at 77 as well right now on Qualcomm as it's 10 cents in the money. There we go. We'll take another piece out. I'm not trying to set this world on fire here, obviously. So let's just continue to do what we're doing here. We just got another out down there. We got an 83 and another 77. I believe. Oh no, we did not get to 77 yet. Okay, so let's wait to get that 77 right now then. So yeah, as we go, so far so good here on some of those plays for us now, as we're just making sure that we have the orders out, because again, we want to make sure that we're just capturing profit. This is one of those moments in time now where, hey, the imbalances are out. It's 10 minutes left in the day, or 8 minutes left in the day, and people are going to rearrange some of their shares. So we're only short here at 89. Let's get a piece out. Rivian, we reloaded the long, but it's only at 52. So getting some out at 54 and 55, whatever. Not really a big deal here for me, or hopefully for you, as this is just doing nothing for Rivian. If it breaks 50, we'll get out. Other than that, what else is on here? Apple, we saw that as a sell. So you can see sort of the action that created to the downside. Amazon as well as a sell. Probably don't want to talk about that, although that's pretty flat right there. Yes, we did. Did we get another fill there? No, we did not. Okay, so we're still waiting for our AMD to do something.
Yeah, there was a huge flush, but Apple bounced off 135, and it looks like it's almost like that volume selling off almost created like a false bottom there on those imbalances, and you're actually heading back into the upside. You're getting a bit of a relief. I think it's just that profit taking. So that's gonna lead me to just get out of. I'm not even gonna wait. I'm just gonna get out of Intel based on that theory. Like wait for the tops. You know, why wait for resistance levels? Like I can get it pretty much right here. I'm just going to take that one out. I did get out of DWAC as well, by the way. I still think this stock is probably headed for some kind of move. But it's just after that flush, the secondary flush, look at it just go sideways off 16. That's all you could get. I'm going to love that level tomorrow if it breaks down. But I just punched out when it wasn't going to go anywhere. I'll hold Virgin Galactic for a couple more pennies to see what can happen. But 6 minutes left to go. Thank you, everybody. I hope that was a good answer on the imbalances. At some point, when we're not trading, you know, we'll do one of those videos on it when we can slow down and maybe give you guys a better look. But the basics do matter. We always ask one thing, and I'm going to double check to see where we're at. I know if you want to talk in this chat, by the way, and ask us questions like what is the imbalance, hit the subscribe. It's a subscriber-only chat. Hit the like. Pay it forward. Enjoy the show. Hopefully you learn something every single day. I know the market teaches me something every day, especially when it comes to reversing from long to short at key price levels, because I'll tell you right now, every time I look at my Moderna chart, I'm going to throw up a little bit in my mouth, because I like one level for the long, I like one level for an out, and it was absolutely the perfect reversal for the short. You don't always have to do it, but the market was failing breakouts left, right, and center. That was a failed break, wick top, broke resistance, whatever. You just got to be able to learn from these things here. It doesn't mean it's a bad trade going long here, but the reversal was much, much better, and you got to be able to switch on the fly. Plenty of good shorts here today, but this could have been my best one, and that's why it's the first place I'm going to look to when reviewing my day.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, something we talk about all the time is journaling and looking to see, you know, where could you do better, where could you not. But right there, let's go, man. We'll end the day with a nice trade here for AMD, a lucky trade, to be honest with you. As AMD just flying around there, look at this move to the downside right now. Let's go AMD. I mean, you see the short, man. It's 20 cents in the money and printing, but we don't have much left. I mean, I don't know if this was going to happen at the end of the day, but there goes AMD collapsing back down. So we were initially long, reversed it into the short, took that short, and now we're printing it and getting it lower, lower, lower. And by the way, we just got a 57 fill on Rivian. So let's go like that as we end the day now on RIVN. So yeah, good trade there. Very, very, obviously very happy with it to end the day with only 5 minutes left. Rivian, good one. AMD, 25 cents and tanking right now. Let's just put a close to this trade right there. There it is. Let's go. Oh my God, can't believe that just happened. Nice one. Yes, sir. We are close to the highest spot we've been at all day due to this trade right there. There's the trade. You guys can all see that. So it was a good one for me right there on AMD to end the day. Plus the Rivian one helped a lot. Rivian was actually a pretty positive stock for me, considering we only traded it twice, man. Both times off 50 and both times hammered it. So yeah, man, really happy today. Good day trading. I hope you guys hit the like and the subscribe. We're back here tomorrow every single day that the market's open. Someone will be here, whether or not it's me, Arun, Neil. We're going to be here for you and ready to rock and roll. So thank you for enjoying the show. There's a nice trade for Rivian. There's a nice trade for AMD to end the day. And couldn't be happier with how we've performed once again for you live. You found the best show. Just remember to come back.
Yeah, and it is one of these. Like, you've got, the thing about trading is sometimes it's just a short day, and you got to take advantage of the moves. That's where they are. If you're looking at some of these small caps, like CYAD ends up closing on the lows, or it's going to close on those lows. Bed Bath & Beyond, Brennan came with the story looking for investors, which is probably a good idea for them to short things up. It ends up never breaking out of the range. Even on that news, the volume spike, it couldn't take out 410. It can't break out these lows. It's found a bit of an equilibrium down here. I'm looking all over and just seeing absolute bloodbath left, right, and center. Even Meta, which was strong, is going to end up closing pretty much on the low of the day. Where my attention is going to be as we watch the close will be Netflix. It's still holding green, a little bit of relative strength over there for Netflix, as we're anticipating some volatility, of course, throughout the end of this week for them on their report. But bucking the trend of the market is with only 2.5 minutes to go, My hands are off the keys. I'm just going to make sure I have no orders and
Yeah, I
scripts
just
out.
did the same thing.
Cancel my Space Virgin Galactic script because I'm not going to need it because I'm no longer in that position. But I'm going to be watching some Netflix. Very strong. I didn't see this on the imbalance locator, but it managed to continue its move up anyways. This is one that could be on an absolute tear if the market does head back into the upside. Just anything that showed you relative strength. Your Macy's of the world. Gap was another one today. Netflix a little bit. Boeing to a certain extent. I didn't check it. I didn't check back on this one. Nope. Yeah, so Boeing was relatively strong. Yeah, things done change for Boeing. That's ugly. Yeah. How many straight candles to the downside is that on Boeing? Last time I looked at the chart, it was holding VWAP, and it's like, yeah, Boeing's relatively strong. I checked back, and like everything else, it defecated all over itself. So that's the kind of day that it's been. Man, that was a good. What the heck happened to Boeing at the end of the day there? Did Kramer just basically say that Boeing was good?
But you know what? A lot of stocks. No, honestly, the market. Yeah, I know you're just pulling.
The only reason I'm saying that is because remember when Boeing made that bottom? It happened to be exactly when Kramer pulled it out, and it's going to happen to you. Decision points work out in both directions. Like everybody's kill point is probably a good bouncing spot when it's a whale. If a whale decides to give up, that's when it's going to turn. Michael Burry, I'm pretty sure I remember that he got stopped out of a bunch of shorts up at the top of the market, and then the market came down. I made the top wick on CYNA. It happens. That's just how the market works every now and then. I don't mean to pick on Jimmy Chill, but Boeing is getting crushed again like everything else.
Well, you won't be the first one to pick on him there, but yeah, you make calls, you put yourself out there like we do every single day. You know, sometimes, like look at AMD just absolutely collapsing here into the close, man. We had the short at 71. It's 50 cents in the money, but we took it out with only 1 minute to go. Looks like it'll be Fahad back on the ones and twos here to ring the bell for us. So thanks for that one. But yeah, man, I got to reassess because we talked about JP Morgan. I got to look at my own portfolio because I said, what about a 139 break earlier today? We're at 136.60. That one really broke with fury today for sure to the downside right there. There's one. Remember we touched 139 and then we came back and then we took it down and it's still downside now. Down 3% today is JP Morgan, let alone what Goldman Sachs is probably down. Oh, Goldman Sachs flat today. Okay. So that's good for them holding up. It was up, I think, today at one point, but okay, with only 15 seconds left, I'm pretty exhausted. No, I got some stuff to film after this as well. All right, only 10 seconds there. Fahad, Stone Cold, Steve Austin there. Good look. Let's go with only 3, 2, and 1. You are right. Beer 420. There was not Doritos on that poll. What is your favorite chip maker? Yeah, we could have had Frito-Lay on here. We could have had anything right there. The Packy chip as well.
Pringles.
Could have been there. Look at this. It's a neck-to-neck tie right now between AMD and NVIDIA right now, Prad.
That just tells me that people took it from like a long-term investing standpoint and not trading.
Well, trading mine would still be one of these two, too.
Because TSM has been an unbelievably good long stock recently.
Yeah.
Like ever since Buffett got it, that's been one of the better things, better vehicles to go long chips on. But yeah, you can't put them all out there. I think it's a great poll. We got to do, you know, and Prad's doing a great job getting these polls in there, and I think we got to have more of them. Like a lot of times when we get to those pivot points in the market, like even today, like when we're like, okay, it's starting to turn red. That's the perfect time to like red or green poll and just see what everybody thinks. Because I know we flipped to the short side without doing this, but it's always a good idea to do that. Before we go to Brendan, take a second. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe because the polls are in the chat. And if you're not a subscriber, you can't be involved in the chat. So if you want in on that poll, you got to be both a subscriber and a watcher of the show. Brendan, how did we finish down?
Yeah, not good. Session lows, not a good look for tomorrow as well. Really heading into tomorrow. Basically, back to the low of days here, right across the board. 1.56 now for the S&P, the Dow 1.8. This still going down. The Russell, all three of them, 1.42, 5.2, and 1.43. The Russell 1, 2, and 3,000s there. NASDAQ composite, NASDAQ 100, 1.25. We'll call it for each, guys. Pretty negative coming off what. I mean, that was a better than expected PPI print we got this morning. Why are you guys looking at, what is that, Guinness?
There's someone in the chat here,
I have it up right here, yeah, Igor.
No, Igor keeps saying 3,000 likes and we'll drink black velvet. So Sean,
I love that I'm not here because it's Neil. Come to the screen here, there, Prad.
What is that?
That's what I'm going to try to discuss. Prad, if you can, screen.
Screen.
There it is. Yeah, it's right here. Igor talking about this. But the good thing is it's Neil, Sharif, and Luca, so it's not me, so that's good. I don't know. Maybe he forgot me. But apparently, Brendan, you asked what it was. It is champagne and beer.
Sold.
Nope. No comment. I have no idea. I mean, sold fine. I mean, better than the chip at this point.
Everything's better than the chip.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys are down
that good?
with that. I don't know. Is that good? You guys let us know in the
Beer
chat.
and
I never.
champagne?
Have you had that before, Brendo?
No.
No, okay, but it did
game.
look like Guinness, which is Brendan's favorite beer.
Champagne and Guinness.
I bet you it doesn't taste like it.
Champagne plus Guinness. There it is right there.
I don't know about
3,000 likes. Luca and Sharif drink a bottle of Jaeger. Look, we're not.
So,
The whole point of that was not to get us all crazy, like, or anything like that. There was a bet if we could get 5,000 likes. If you guys can get to 10,000 likes, maybe we'll think about something. But, or maybe someone just said that Black Velvet is also a rye. So I don't know. I just Googled it.
Oh, if it's a type of rye, I love it. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're tempting us to drink things that we'd probably want to drink. So, all right, let's go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. The S&P today, as you heard, down 1.6. NASDAQ down 1.3. Not a great day for the broader markets, that is for sure. But, hey, join us tomorrow when there's more. Oh, we should have gone through the earnings board at the end of the day. We'll do it tomorrow morning. Get our watch list on tradertv.live. More earnings coming. Netflix, right? We've talked about a few things. Netflix is after tomorrow. Right? Thursday after market tomorrow. So lots of stuff to come through, man. Thank you for watching. Again, we saw Delta today. That was a good one as well. We got some big trades into the close. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. It's Microsoft for your trade of the day. Thanks, Sharif. Thanks, Luca. Thanks, Pratt. Thanks, Bears versus Bulls. Thanks, Fahad, sort of. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Rob. Everybody as well. Liz working hard. Justin, Katrine, the whole bunch of us. Thank you so much for watching. We are Trader TV Live, and we'll catch you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.